$71,000 for finishing fourth.
Z-Man, are you there?
$6 million race and the best horses in the world. He wins Kentucky Derby. Everybody says it's a fluke. He doesn't has a good race at Saratoga. Dude, when you see a mate win by 17.5 lengths, you claim it for $30,000 next time.
I'll go borrow, steal the $30,000 if necessary.
I'll just win for you.
Well, if you are, like all those other people that go and pick things and go give percentages on percentage to win this, percentage to win that, what percentage are you giving here for?
18.2%.
ready to go.
Yeah. Under a mostly clear sky with a game time temperature of 43 degrees. We welcome you live to Bison Hill on the campus of Oklahoma Baptist University at Shawnee. It is game 66 of a 66-game regular season slate in the Great American Conference, and the finale comes here tonight under the lights at Crane Family Stadium in the Herd Athletic Complex. Hello again, everyone. I'm Todd Miller along with John Brooks, Scott Wanish, and John Zonlow, greeting you for the final time in 2022 as OBU will take on arch rival Southern Nazarene, two programs that are in vastly different positions than what we thought just 2 months ago. We'll set the stage for the Bison and the Storm in round number 7, but first this opening timeout, our pregame show brought to you by McIntyre Law on the Radio Network.
Hey, Todd.
Yeah.
There's two games that aren't finished yet.
Southwestern and Northwestern?
Yeah, Northwestern and Southwestern, yeah. That's in the third quarter. Southern Arkansas and Monticello are late in the fourth.
Okay. Todd Miller, John Brooks, the crew with you here at Crane Family Stadium at the Herd Athletic Complex as we begin our pregame show tonight. Still to come, our final player interview of the year with record-setting kicker Guillermo Garcia. Also, our coaches segment coming up momentarily with head coach Chris Jensen. It is a 43-degree night here in Shawnee. It will be down near freezing by 10 o'clock tonight here in Pottawatomie County, and with the light wind chill that we have, it feels like 38 degrees out of the field, and so blankets and hoodies and jackets will be in order tonight, just about 3 weeks after people were wearing shorts and needing suntan lotion here in Shawnee. Welcome to late fall in Oklahoma, my friends, and that means it is the final game of the regular season. Oklahoma Baptist kind of limping to the finish, Brooksy. 1-9, and injuries have been the big story of this season. It will be again tonight as the Bison will start their fourth-string quarterback in 11 games, and with a tight end penciled in as the backup quarterback. That's just one of many, many positions that have been ravaged by injuries that has led to this disappointing season. Meanwhile, Southern Nazarene 4-6 can set a program win in the Division II era for most victories in a season with a win tonight.
Well, we were visiting with the Southern Nazarene crew about 30 minutes ago, and I joked with them. I looked at both the guys and I said, you know, we've always loved to see you on the last game of the season. And they kind of smiled. They knew what I was leading to because it meant a win for Oklahoma Baptist. And quite frankly, you could have gotten to the midway mark of this season, said the same thing, and in the back of your mind, even though Southern Nazarene was surprising people, upsetting people, playing good, losing, but in competitive games, you still would have had that thought. That thought's no longer there. This is a Southern Nazarene team that if these games were put on a betting line, they'd probably be on the road with this situation that OBU has, probably a 2-touchdown favorite. It has been a disappointing year. You know what? This team will find out something about themselves for the off season and to get ready for those who come back next year. They'll find out tonight if this team really wants to try to get on track and get all this turned around next year, because it will be a gut check tonight.
Well, it has been a gut check now for some time. In fact, over the last nearly 2 months, Oklahoma Baptist mirrored in a 7-game losing streak. During that mentioned time, the Southern Nazarene Crimson Storm has gone 4-3, and they could be 5-2 had it not been for a foiled 2-point conversion attempt and an overtime loss 2 weeks ago to Henderson State and Bethany. This is a good football team, one that will severely tap what has been a anemic run defense for OBU. And I'm just going by the numbers when I say that. That is not being derogatory towards anybody. Southern Nazarene comes in 4th in the entire country in rushing offense, and they are led by Gage Porter, who has put up mind-boggling numbers here in 2022.
If you're looking for something that is a positive tonight, if you're sitting in the stands, you may not sit as long as you normally do for a game, because this game may move on pretty good. They're going to pound that ball and pound the ball, and as long as nobody stops them on OBU side, they're going to keep pounding all night long.
Here's the numbers I referred to. Southern Nazarene, 4th in the country in rush offense. They are 3rd in the Great American Conference behind Ouachita and Harding at just under 309 yards per game. Oklahoma Baptist is next to last in the league in rushing defense, allowing 271 yards per contest. Scott Wanish, we'll get you back up here to the warm confines of the press box, but first, your opinion of this game from the field.
Well, you guys talked about Gage Porter, 25 rushing touchdowns, leads the country as a quarterback rushing there, so it's going to be tough. Caleb Peters and Trajan Lands in the loss at Henderson State last week, 7 tackles. They're going to have to step up because there's no KJ Price. Nick Boone got knocked out of the game, and he's not available today, so it looks like everything's stacked against the Bison, but the Bison have won 5 straight against SNU, so that's a confidence factor. John alluded to that, but then at the same time, Southern Nazarene just knocked off Southern Arkansas. This is going to be a tough game for the Bison.
Southern Arkansas was leading late in that ball game, only to see Gage Porter rally. Victory for the Jaws, a defeat for Southern Nazarene, a story that he has had all season long. Scott, last week you and I were in Arkadelphia to witness the Henderson State game, and that game really was closer, really for about 3/4 than the final score might indicate. They used a new look on offense. Zach Frazier, who's been an offensive lineman his entire career here, went down with an injury against Harding in midseason, missed about a month's worth of games, has come back, tried to play in the offensive line. They now are moving him to tight end, and I thought he really bolstered that position and helped the run game, which went for 127 against the league's best run defense a week ago, and that's the 3rd highest rushing total of the year for the Bison.
No doubt, mixing it up really helps the run game. Then when the run game gets better, of course, the passing game's going. Todd, remember those 2 quick touchdowns, one right before the half, Anderson got in, and then Daniel Eaton draws up a quick drawn up a scoring play drive on the first drive in the latter half. So OBU scored really quick back-to-back. Like you said, that game was closer than what it thought. But, of course, that was Seth Streeter, the quarterback. We've now on the 4th-string quarterback, Amari Jesse.
Amari Jesse is a 200-pound sophomore from Hazlet, Texas. Last week he came in for a handful of snaps. He did throw a touchdown pass, the first of his career, and that also extended a current string of 37 consecutive games with an OBU touchdown pass. That was a 14-yard throw for 7 to the final drive. He also rushed for 7 yards on the final drive that he orchestrated a week ago. Tonight it's SNU and Oklahoma Baptist as we draw to a close the 2022 football season in Shawnee. We'll take a break, and when we return, it's our final visit of the year with head coach Chris Jensen. This is Oklahoma Baptist football presented by Sportscast Productions on the Bison Radio Network. preparing for Southern Nazarene. NCAA mandated that on Election Day you didn't practice, so you practiced on Monday. Here you are. You've been doing this now for 10 weeks. Is that a concern at all? I mean, everybody else, I guess, has to change their schedule as well.
It is. It is something that everybody across Division II had to do, and so we're not the only ones that had to do that. I think it was just a little change in the schedule isn't a bad thing. I think going out and practicing on Monday, you put a little stress on the coaches trying to get the game plan prepared in that short period of time. But I think they did a good job doing that. I felt like we had a great practice Monday, and then a day off on Tuesday, and then coming back and finishing up. I think we've handled it as well as you possibly could.
Tonight you get one of the upstart teams in the conference. Southern Nazarene a lot of times has been in the position that you are in right now. Maybe a win going to the final week, but they have Gage Porter. He's back, he's healthy, and there's not a more valuable player to any team in this conference than he is to Southern Nazarene.
I think that's got to be an accurate assessment. He is 70% of their offense, and so he's done a good job for them. He's been healthy all year and been able to move their offense.
So what is it that makes it so difficult in stopping them? I mean, great defenses in this league have had problems. They're one of the higher scoring offenses in the league, yet they have one guy that accounts for 70% of the offense.
There's a lot of misdirection, and in their offense, I think there's even a higher level of deception than an offense like Harding. And so the thing is everybody knows against Harding you have to be disciplined in your keys. And I think that, some people go into the game against Southern Nazarene and they're a little lax in that, but you can't be. You have to be disciplined in your keys. With all the misdirection, everybody has to know what their job and assignment is, and you have to do it on a consistent basis.
Do you hearken back this week to that game against Harding? I know the offenses are different, but the discipline needed is the same. And I thought you guys really played well in a defensive scheme against the run from Harding.
Yeah, and that's going to be required again this week. We have to play disciplined football and know who we're supposed to take. And so, that's what we've worked on all week, to try to be disciplined on our keys and react and respond quickly and effectively.
Quarterback position continues to be a problem in terms of injuries. You're going to start a fourth different quarterback this year in Amari Jesse tonight. Tell us about him. We saw a little bit of him against Henderson State last week. And do you completely have to change the offensive package now for him?
Obviously you want to run something that's going to play to his strengths, and so it will look different tonight. And it's Amari has a great work ethic and great attitude, and I think the players all love him and rally around him as well. And so, but the game plan will change a little bit just to try to play to his strengths.
And this is a defense that you feel like you could take advantage of, don't you?
They've played good at times, and they've also given up big plays. And so we've got to be able to, we can't be inches short on big plays and on blocks and catches and throws and stuff like that. We've got to complete those things, and we've got to hold those, maintain those blocks. So I think we have an opportunity to move the football, but we've got to play really well.
How important is it going into the offseason to finish this thing on a good note?
I think we've been in both situations where we finished on a high note and against this team, and we've also come out of here on the downside, on the bottom side of the scoreboard. And so, whatever happens tonight, it's not going to dictate what happens in off season. And so, the players are going to approach it the right way no matter what, how this goes. That's something I've learned in my years of coaching, is that kids are resilient. And no matter how this goes, we're going to end up hitting it hard once the off season comes, no matter what.
OBU head football coach Chris Jensen. I appreciate his candid remarks all season long. I appreciate his friendship. He and I always enjoy our midweek, or at least I could speak for myself, always enjoy our midweek visits. We have really good conversations, some of which will always stay off of the air. But Chris has not sidestepped any issues in what has been a difficult season as head coach here on Bison Hill. When we return, it is the kicker that is in pursuit of the all-time career field goal mark on Bison Hill. Texas native Guillermo Garcia joins us next. This is Bison Football, presented by Sportscast Productions on the OBU Radio Network. Complex. I'm Todd Miller. Time now for this week's Bison Player Spotlight, and we have a unique guest, a kicker, Guillermo Garcia, who is chasing the record books here at Oklahoma Baptist University. Gigi, welcome to the program. You come from Dickinson, Texas, a 6A school outside of Houston. You were a former soccer player. That shouldn't come as a surprise, but it was really early to mid in your high school career where you decided this is the route I want to take. I want to be a kicker at the collegiate level.
Yes, sir, correct. The end of my sophomore year, I decided to take football seriously. That's when I decided to play college football. I knew in the U.S., college football was going to take me further instead of soccer. That's when I just decided to make the decision.
And there was a commitment on your high school's part. Once you committed, they brought you in your own personal kicker.
Correct. My kicking coach in high school, my head coach, John Snelson, he brought in my kicking coach named Lane Newman, and he was able to help me out a lot, like a good amount, because it was crazy. I'm very grateful that I was able to have him on my high school.
As you develop and you go further in your career as a kicker, I'm thinking that you still, when you're out there and a big kick's coming up, think back to being a younger man and having your kicking coach out there and all the advice he gave you.
Oh, correct. Before every kick, man, my kicking coach would always tell me, Gigi, relax, don't try to overkick it. You just do the exact same thing every single time. Just kick it smooth. You're going to make it. Don't worry.
All right, let's talk about a pre-kick routine, and then we're going to back up and go through the pregame drills here in a moment. But you do the same thing every time, and that is muscle memory, isn't it? And that's not just here. It's kickers at all levels.
Correct. So every kicker has a different pregame routine, but my pregame routine, I will go out there, do a light warm-up, do some dry swings, make sure my techniques, I feel comfortable. I would go out on the game field, depending where I'm at, and away game or home game, I would go down to PT and take my steps back, do a dry swing, and just visualize the ball going down the middle. And this is what I do. I would pick up my hands, if it was an official good field goal kick, and I would go from every hash, even down the middle. I would even go back to 55 yards field goal and do the exact same thing.
What is your range? I mean, we haven't seen you stretched out just a whole lot here at OBU.
No. That's okay. Okay. So my range, me myself with just the sticks, field goal sticks, and a ball with no pads, no helmet. My furthest personal record is 62 yards. But if it was a full operation, I can say I'll probably go up to a 59, maybe 60.
This goes without saying. Conditions are a big factor in what you do. Tell us about what you do under various circumstances pregame. I mean, like if the field is wet or if it's turf or it's natural grass.
Okay, so when it comes to weather, that's a really, really big factor when it comes to a kicker. When I gotta include the field goes wet, there's so much wind. I gotta make sure I gotta know how fast the wind is. If it's a rainy day, if it rained the day before, if I'm playing on turf or on grass. For example, if it's a rainy game, I gotta include that the ball is gonna be heavier because it's gonna be waterlogged with the rain. So, since it's rainier and the grass is gonna be mushier, even with turf, the rushing is gonna be a little bit slower. The snap's gonna be a little bit slower. The hold is gonna get there a little bit slower. So you want to include that. You don't want to rush the process. You just want to keep the same momentum and just kick the same. You don't want to change anything.
Pre-snap routine. How do you approach that?
I just, like I said, I just keep everything the same. I take my steps back, and I just I try to have the exact same feeling mentally and physically, like if I was doing my pregame routine. I take my 3 steps back, 2 steps to the side, and I just kick the same and swing the exact same way every single time. You don't want to change anything. When you try changing one thing, you're just gonna mess everything up.
How cool is it, or have you even thought about it, that you're not quite 2 years into your career here at Oklahoma Baptist and you're already putting an assault together on the record books? I mean, that has to be special, doesn't it?
Yes, it is special. I didn't even know, honestly, until KJ came up to me and told me. I was looking at the record book that ended in 2017. I knew it wasn't very updated, so I wasn't really 100% sure. But whenever KJ told me, I was surprised. Honestly, I didn't know I was going to be breaking the all-time career record. I didn't know that.
How much do you see when you're attempting an extra point or a field goal? You know it's there. You know there's people trying to jump up the middle. There's guys coming off the edge. How much of that do you see, or is it just instinct?
So as a kicker, the worst thing you want to do is just look up. whenever you take your steps back, obviously the holder has a mark on the ground where he's going to put the ball at. When you take the 3 steps back, 2 steps to the side, you look up at your target where you're aiming at, and you look back down to where his hand is at. And once his hand comes up to catch the football, that's when the kicker should go, and your eyes should be dialed in at the exact same spot till after the kick.
In the offseason, where do you feel like you need to improve the most? Because you've taken great strides, Gigi, from your first to your second year.
Would have to practice on kicking a little bit like far field goals, trying to keep it the exact same. I would have to work a little bit more on the right hash in the middle. Left hash is a little bit more strong suit. Right hash is my weak side. I would have to work more on that. And when including kickoffs, I would have to work on my technique and making sure my momentum is the same. And me personally as a kicker, I would like to work on my strength of my leg speed, but not just that, but my counter arm, my left arm.
Sophomore place kicker Guillermo Garcia Rodriguez, our visit of the pregame show. More coming up from Shawnee after these messages. This is Oklahoma Baptist Football, presented by Sportscast Productions on the Bison Radio Network. During the game. Scott? return of about 6, and it's first down and 10 for Gage Porter, the fourth-year senior quarterback from Elk City, who has had just a terrific year. We'll give you his numbers in a moment. Single setback is Jarrell Farr, a sophomore running back from Richmond, Texas, and Porter will keep it on a fake handoff. Gage running left across the 35 and belted out of bounds into the OBU sideline. They'll spot the run at the 38-yard line, so it's a gain of 4. Scott, this is a lot like playing Harding. You have to stay firm in your fits, and you must be very disciplined.
One thing about playing Harding that's different, Harding usually hits the line of scrimmage quick. This is like slow developing. Gage Porter holding the ball for a couple seconds there before he took off.
So the Nazarene, the white and crimson, OBU in the gold and green tops over green bottoms with gold helmets. Motion man from right to left of the formation, Dalen Smith. Now they're going to motion Asia Robertson to the far side. Porter is going to throw it that way. Robertson with the catch behind the line of scrimmage. He turns upfield, has a first down. Cross the 45, struggles to the Southern Nazarene sideline at the 46-yard line. So the first completion of the ball game from Gage Porter goes to, that's actually Jalen Mays, number 21.
Well, that completion, it looked like a lateral, but being successful for 7 yards, that's going to open more lanes for Gage Porter, unfortunately.
Gage Porter has completed just 59% of his passes. The 81 now of 135 for 1,051 yards. 3 plays, 2 first downs for the Crimson Storm. This one comes at their own 46-yard line in a scoreless game to start. Motion man on the far side. Porter is going to keep it, run straight ahead, runs into Braden Johnson, who's out there, the freshman from Ringling, making his first start, replacing Nick Boone, and the gain goes for 5 to the 49 of the Bison.
Yeah, it's very difficult to bring Porter down. Braden Johnson had a chance just past the line of scrimmage to stand him up. Porter pushed him out of the way.
Andrew Tisdale with 4 catches, a junior from Humble, Texas, is flanked wide right. Dalen Smith is the receiver. Correction, that's Donald May, who returned the opening kickoff, is flanked wide left. Now they send a man in motion. That's Aaron Fellows to the near side. And on quarterback draw, it is Gage Porter. Porter gets out of an ankle tackle at the 45. First down to the Bison 40 as he was able to pick up 9, and he just reads the defense, Scott, and hits the hole so quick.
Yeah, there really wasn't even a hole there. Porter just went along that lineman right behind, right on his right hip, had a little bit of push from behind and just kept driving.
Gage Porter coming in almost 1,600 rushing yards compared to his first 3 years, 1,476. He has 25 rushing touchdowns. He had 15 in his first 3 seasons in Bethany. 12:34 to play opening quarter. Southern Nazarene on the march. Porter turns and he will hand it off, and that will go to Angel Ramirez, I believe, and he will get to the 38-yard line. And Ramirez has toted the football now 79 times as a fullback. Second down upcoming for the Crimson Storm.
Nice play by Jake Landers, linebacker. He's on the left side, cuts in to hit Ramirez quickly.
Second down and 8. The drive exactly 3 minutes old for Southern Nazarene. They start at 34. They're upfield to the 38 of Oklahoma Baptist. SNU again comes in third of the conference and fourth in Division II football, rushing the ball at 308.7 yards per ball game. Tight end moves from right to left. Now the motion to the near side of receiver as well. They fake the jet sweep. It's Porter that keeps it. Good discipline that time by OBU. Gage Porter is knocked down after a gain of 1 to the 37-yard line. And the first to get in there and stick his nose into the play was, guess who? Chase Whitemare, the ever-improving safety.
And Peter Papula right there as well from the left defensive end. Great discipline, as you mentioned, Todd. Coming in, there was no tight ends. The tight ends were in motion. All you had was the tackle box, right tackle, left tackle. Looked like it's going to be a passing formation. Now Southern Nazarene is in a passing situation.
Conversions this year. SNU 7th in the Great American Conference at 42%. OBU's defense 7th, allowing almost 42% with the opposition. Third down at 7 to the 37. Porter to throw, pocket holes. Pulls it down, dumps it off. Ball caught across the way at the 25 or the 20. Spun down to the 17-yard line. That's Robertson on the catch. And, man, what a great job of blocking with an offensive line that has given up 14 sacks of the year. And tackle to tackle averages 300-plus pounds per man.
Well, you just had that 3-man rush. The only way Robertson gets open on that drag pattern across the middle is having 4 to 5 seconds there. Porter had all day long, just let everybody clear out, then hit the underneath route.
Crimson Storm ninth in the conference in red zone efficiency, 75%, 25 touchdowns, and they're 2 of 6 on field goals. They've run for 19 of their 25 red zone touchdowns. That's not a surprise. Porter gives it straight ahead. That's Angel Ramirez. Sidesteps the defender. He's inside the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. So an impressive first drive put together by the Crimson Storm. They do it on the ground. Capped by Angel Ramirez, 5th rushing touchdown of the year. And with 10:20 to go in the opening quarter, pinning the extra point at 6-0 Storm.
Yeah, on the lead option, you're so worried about the quarterback. Hands off to Ramirez quick right off the right side.
Adam Atwell, a freshman from League City, Texas, just outside of Houston, the extra point kicker. Atwell is 31 of 33 on point after tries this year. The snap is high, the ball is down, the kick is in the air, and the extra point is good. 10:20 to play. Opening quarter from Shawnee. It's 7-0 Southern Nazarene. We'll step aside for these messages from first quarter sponsor Noble McIntyre on the Bison Radio Network. Okay.
Here at SCI Supply, you truly can purchase with purpose. Whether you're a university, a K-12 school, a local nonprofit, a church, or an individual, we have exactly what you're looking for. And 100% of the profit from your purchase stays here to fulfill the mission of providing vocational training, employment opportunities, and residential care to individuals with special need. So remember, how does your purchase make a purpose? By investing in South Central, the official office supply store of OBU Athletics.
Play 66 yards, and it was a drive that was a little over 4 minutes in duration, and it wasn't all Gage Porter doing the work.
Well, I thought the thing that was most impressive, we talk about the number 4 team in the country with average rushing yards per game. You expect that, but the 2 times on the drive where they needed to do something through the air, they got big plays, kept the drive going.
Keelan Harris and Braden Phipps, both who were honored in Senior Day ceremonies before kickoff, are deep to receive for the gold and green-cladded Bison of Oklahoma Baptist as they await the kickoff from Platnick Ray. Or correction, that is Ryan Reed, a graduate student from Burleson, Texas. On 30 kickoffs this year has averaged just a tick under 58 yards per kick. Ryan Reed looks right, looks left, points, now swings the left leg, and he kicks it away. It's going to hit inside the 10, 15, and it's going to roll out of bounds, and that will be a break for Oklahoma Baptist and first-time starter at quarterback Amari Jesse.
Well, when you said he was averaging 58, I thought, well, I can do the math real quick. That means the ball's going to be returned. Not on that one. He made it even better. He kicked it out of bounds. He'll get the ball at the 35. Here's the scoreboard from the day. Unbelievable. Ouachita goes unbeaten on the season. That part's not unbelievable at 11-0, but the fact that they're down 2 touchdowns with 5 minutes to go against Henderson State, score, get it into overtime. They trail 37-34. They get a touchdown on their possession, and they beat Henderson State 40-37 in overtime. They are the Great American Conference champs. They were anyway, but now unbeaten.
Ouachita missed a field goal at the end of regulation, or Henderson to beat the Tigers. Jesse will come out throwing, looking for Harris. They've got him deep, and he dropped the ball at the 29. Holy Toledo, you don't see that very often. Keelan Harris that time had streaked past the corner, and that had 6 written all over it. One dog, I love the call from next door.
Oh, do I ever love the call. You know how I love going for it. You've got dynamite out there on the field. Keelan Harris, nobody can guard him man-to-man. Of course, Southern Nazarene is going to try to do that, and that gives your quarterback, Jesse, confidence if that's completed.
Single setback is Buddy Bazell, the true freshman from Carl Albert High School. Tight end Sam Sharp wearing number 2 tonight. He is the backup quarterback. Handoff to Bazell, coming right, cuts left, 38-40. First down, 47-50, and he's rolled out of bounds at the 48-yard line. And it was Emmanuel Obina, the backup middle linebacker, that may have saved, if not a touchdown, a run into the red zone for Buddy Bazell.
Well, Cole Zizek got pancaked by Zach Frazier on the left side. When Frazier knocked that linebacker to the ground, Bazell kicked it out to the right side.
17 yards. I will be extremely disappointed, fourth-team quarterback or not, Scott, if OBU doesn't put some points on the board tonight. 17 yards on the carry for Buddy Bazell. First down into SNU territory at the 48. 7-0 early SNU. They hand it to Bazell. He's hit at the line and dropped for a yard lost right on cue to the 49-yard line. And it was Cole Sissick, the Mike linebacker, that was the first to get him to the ground.
I don't know about you, but I'm still having nightmares over that opening play. Keelan will not drop. If you did it 35 times in another season, he won't drop a ball like that.
It was a terrific throw as well by Amari Jesse, making his first Division II career start at quarterback. Sharp is tight end right. Tight end left is Zach Frazier. Now they swing and line up to the near side. Two tight ends. Hand off to Bazell straight ahead, and he leans down to the 39. So he's going to pick, or the 44. He's going to pick up 5. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 6. And here comes the bugaboo for this offense all season long. 3rd down conversions, dead last at 29% in the league.
Zach Frazier with another good block on the left side. He was the tight end in the middle, right behind center, went in motion to the left side, got Milik Ritchie opening up the hole for Bazell.
Nate Anderson is out there now on this snap. 2 receivers stacked just short of the line of scrimmage, both left and right. SNU showed a little bit of pressure. Now Jesse and company are going to back out of the play. Incidentally, Southern Nazarene has given up the most 3rd down conversions in the league this year at 67. Back to throw is Jesse. Now it's a delay. No, he's going to keep it. He'll run right. Amari with the first down, 35 as he angles out of bounds into Crimson Storm territory. And it's not the largest crowd, guys, of the season for OBU on a very, very cold night here at Shawnee, but they are really behind their Bison, who have lost 7 straight.
Amari Jesse with some juice there. I like that speed that he had turn that corner, and a good call because Southern Nazarene had 8 defensive backs back, just a 3-man rush, and they got a 3-man front again.
8 minutes to play, opening quarter, 7-0 SNU, but OBU's on the march. Jesse on a quarterback draw will keep it. He runs into a defender and is dropped. He will gain 1 at the 35-yard line. I mean, they stonewalled that run up the middle.
Let's go back to 3 plays back when Bazell had that run up the middle. He hurt his right hand. He's over with the trainer on the sideline. They're doing something. Looks like he's about ready to get back in. But he was really shaking his hand. He was hurting pretty good.
Dylan Bauer, a graduate student at defensive end, was the one that stonewalled that run for a yard to the 35. 2nd down and 7. 2 receivers left. 1 receiver to the near side is Keelan Harris, the NFL hopeful. Gives straight ahead to Anderson. He runs right into Elijah Calhoun, the free safety, and Calhoun twists him down after a gain of 3, bringing up 3rd down and 6 from the 32-yard line. Calhoun with a team-high 91 stops through 10 weeks coming in.
You know what the green and gold here of OBU has in common with the green and gold of the Green Bay Packers? They've had a lot of wide receivers drop wide open passes this year, too. Right?
But you've been prepping for that statement all week long.
I've been waiting all year long. I finally got a shot at it.
Tell you what, I like Amari Jesse, though, better than like Aaron Rodgers anymore. 6:40 to play opening quarter, 7-0 the score. Southern Nazarene, 3rd down and 6. And Jesse will keep it again, and he runs right into Emmanuel Obina again, and he will only pick up 2. Scott, they may have gone to the well once or maybe even twice too many times.
Well, Oklahoma Baptist has only thrown 1 pass, and Southern Nazarene's playing a defense forcing Jesse, the 4th-string quarterback, to pass. Just a 3-man front, and they're dropping the linebacker. The linebackers are back, but they're coming up to play the run.
These are the 2 worst teams statistically in the league in total defense. Southern Nazarene, the league's worst at 493 per ball game. OBU is 11th at 475, and they are the bottom 2 teams in scoring defense as well. The makings of a shootout, who knows? 7-0 SNU, under the halfway point here in the first quarter. Single receiver, flank to the far side, Braden Phipps. To the near side is Harris. Tight end Sam Sharp right. Tight end left is Zach Frazier. Now they move Sharp as one of the 2 tight ends left. They fake the handoff. Jesse is going to throw it deep again for Harris, and he makes the diving catch for the touchdown. And now he dropped the football as he came down.
He looked like he had it. I thought he had it, but just as he hit the ground, bingo, it popped out.
Cameron Wells is jumping up and down. He's jawing with the OBU sideline, and, sir, I'm sorry. That was not done by you. The ground dislodged what would have been a touchdown reception for Key Harris.
It was, you know what, to take back the drop earlier, that was a circus catch if he's able to hold on.
All right. OBU turns it over and downs. We'll pause for these messages. First quarter brought to you by McIntyre Law. 7-0 Southern Nazarene of the Bison Radio Network.
At Boomerang, we are proud to say that word of mouth has filled our restaurants for over 15 years. The appeal to Boomerang covers all ages. Come and visit our Shawnee locations and you will see why we have been voted Best Burger, Best Breakfast, and Best Waitress.
Great American Conference scoreboard now. Ouachita 40-37 over Henderson State in overtime. They're the undefeated champs, Ouachita. Southeastern loses on the road to a surprising and still getting better East Central team, 31-10. On the road, Southern Arkansas beats Monticello 20-7. Harding on the road blows away Arkansas Tech 55-10. And Southwestern at home with 8 minutes to go. Looks like they're going to get out with a victory. They lead Northwestern State 41-28. Here are the standings with only tonight's game and the finish of that other one, although it looks like that one will end up being a Southwestern win, a Northwestern loss. Ouachita 11-0, Harding 9-2 finishes second. Henderson State and East Central tie for third at 8-3. Southeastern State 6-5 is fifth, followed by Arkansas Tech, Southern Arkansas, Southern Nazarene, Southwestern, Monticello, OBU, and Northwestern State.
First and 10 for Porter. Two backs in the backfield. They take over from their own 30-yard line, leading 7-0. Now they start to motion a man to the near side. They're going to fake the handoff. Porter will keep it. Dodges the defender at the 30, 35. Spun, running backwards, and is stopped right near the first down marker at the 40-yard line. Gage Porter this year has had 100 yards or more rushing in 9 of 10 games. And how about this? He had 2 touchdowns in the first month of the season. He has scored 23 touchdowns the last 7 games, including 5 against Henderson State in what was a near-miss upset of the road or in Bethany 2 weeks ago.
Interesting on that loss, they lost 42-41 to Henderson, went for a 2-point conversion. Gage Porter was running the option. Henderson player forced Porter to get rid of it early, and they stopped the ball carrier at the 1-yard line.
4:51 to go, opening quarter. First down at 10, SNU at the 40. They hand it straight ahead, and that's going to go for Angel Ramirez at a gaping hole on the right side, and he blasts through for 9 to the 49-yard line.
Oklahoma Baptist is going to have to shoot some of these gaps. You have a 11-yard carry by Porter, then a 9-yard carry. There's just no way you can sustain any football game giving up that kind of yardage.
You know, the records are vastly different. 4 wins for one, 1 for the other. The other team has lost 7. The SNU squad has won 4 of their last 7, but turnover margins very well could determine this game. SNU is -7. Oklahoma Baptist is -8 after going 0 for 3 last week at Henderson State. Second at a yard of the 49. It's a read by Porter. Nimble feet, runs into a defender, is dropped at the 50 and falls forward for another yard to the 49-yard line. He was hit, stood up that time, and then dropped by Caleb Peters.
Oh, Scotty, at least give a little credit to the defense that time. Not everybody bit that time. They closed the lane for Porter. He didn't have that nice little draw he's been having on the last possession.
And Chase Whitebear came a long ways to help close up that hole.
Congratulations to OBU's women's basketball team. Notched their first victory of the season at Washburn today, defeating the Ichabods 43-41. They narrowly knocked off Pitt State. So they split their 2 games in the MIAA Great American Conference Challenge in Topeka. First and 10 of the 48-yard line. They go with a full diamond backfield. Porter fakes the handoff. He's got running room. Cuts right to the 40. Gage Porter down to the 36-yard line. And there were some defenders that didn't stay in their fits that time and got lost in traffic.
I'm telling you, if you don't get a spy on this guy, it's going to be a long night. And I mean, you've just got to, because he is very good. He's very deceptive, and people keep, you didn't bite one play, you bite the next play.
Well, they were talking to us in the press box last week at Henderson State about Gage Porter. They have one of the top run defenses in the league, and they said as good as we are on the ground, we couldn't stop him. First and 10 of the 36. Porter and SNU's offense is a well-oiled machine here early in this one. Late first quarter with 3 minutes to go. It's 7-0. Porter will throw a pass in the backfield. Ball is caught by Colby Branch, and not much running room as Branch is able to turn up field for about 5, maybe 6, close to the 30-yard line.
Well, that would not go in the books, or it shouldn't go in the books as a pass.
Right.
Statistically, that really was a lateral.
Nice tackle by Xavier Lott on the outside there.
2:36 to go opening quarter, 7-0 Southern Nazarene. OBU 1 deferred, a game that kicked off under 42-degree clear sky evening here in Shawnee. It's going to be near freezing before this game comes to a conclusion later tonight, although this first quarter is rapidly zipping by. Single setback is Angel Ramirez. He has the only touchdown on the board tonight for the Crimson Storm. Jarrell Farr, the running back, motions to the far side. The give straight ahead. No, it's a keeper. On the sweep, it's Farr. He's inside the 20 and down inside the 15, all the way down to the 13-yard line. A gain of 17 on Jarrell Farr's first touch of the ball game.
Wow, great play by Southern Nazarene. A triple option. Fake the handoff to the fullback up the middle. Two defenders go there. They think Porter's running right. Porter pitches it when they come up to their quarterback for a wide open run around the end.
Gain of 19 as they spot it down to the 11, so SNU can pick up a first down without scoring the touchdown. 1:36 to go in the opening quarter. It is 7-0 Storm, and they're on the march again. Dustin Hayda has done just a terrific job, offensive coordinator, head coach in Bethany. They motion the tight end right to left. Now they're going to move another man to the near side. Porter on a read will keep it, and he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Ran right into Torian Smith. It was one of many that were honored before the game here on senior night. A rare loss on a carry for Gage, and a second down at 11.
Well, Gage almost had the ball knocked out of his hands on that little fake jet sweep that time. The runner collided with him as he was bringing the ball down. He was lucky he was able to keep possession.
Gage Porter looks anything like a quarterback, doesn't he? He looks like a running back or a linebacker
exactly.
playing the position. Second and 11 at the 12 of Oklahoma Baptist. SNU tonight, 1 of 1 inside the red zone, threatening to take a 2-score lead. They motion to the near side. Porter will drop. Now he's going to, on a quarterback draw, keep it inside the 10 and punch down at the 7-yard line. A gain of 5 brings up third down and 6 from the 7, and that will take us under a half minute to go here in the opening quarter.
Scotty, what are you going to do defensively to stop that? It's going to continue.
Well, that's a good play there by Kendall Williams, I thought, on that play.
Okay.
Where he tackled Gage Porter. And on the previous play, as you mentioned, almost stripped out, that was Kendall Williams again. OBU's doing a 3-man front with outside linebackers. Kendall Williams is the outside linebacker on the left side of the defense. They also have a linebacker on the right side of the defense. Somebody's going to have to shoot a gap sometime.
Third down and 7, SNU at the Oklahoma Baptist 8-yard line. Final play likely of the first quarter. They motion a man, that's Jaron Alvarado on the far side. Now Porter's going to keep it running left to the 5, to the 2, and he's in for the touchdown.
Everybody pinched in. It was goodbye city as soon as he pulled it out, that fake. He had the corner, and he had nothing but clear space.
That was a very well diagrammed and executed play, Scott. They had the entire flow of the play going one way, and Porter ran the other.
And they did. They went right, came back left. Elijah Tomlin, the outside linebacker on the right side, was held by Zach Zizek so badly it looked like Porter had wide open. If you get a holding call there, they're moving back.
Here is Atwell's point after try. Low snap. Ball is handled. The extra point is on the way, and it is good. With 1 second to go in the first period, it's now 14-0 Crimson Storm, and they have their largest contingent. Almost the entire east side is filled, making the way from Bethany. Back after these messages on the Bison Radio Network.
Spending life wisely means taking small steps towards a life of love and impact. And we're here to inspire and empower you along the way. Spend life wisely. First United.
Ryan Reed's kickoff to the near side is a short kick, returned outside the numbers to the 30, 35, and up to the 38-yard line on what will be the final play of the first quarter. 15 minutes in the books, 14-0 Crimson Storm. This is OBU football, presented by Sportscast Productions on the OBU Radio Network. Bison now will go from right to left. Amari Jesse hands it off for the backfield. That's E.J. Moore, and he is stonewalled again as he will get to the line, or will be dropped for -2 to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, the Bison have only attempted 2 passes, and both of those were drop touchdown passes by Keelan Harris. They're Southern Nazarene just coming up on every snap.
OBU in the first quarter had 8 plays, 35 yards. They hand it to Moore, who tosses it back to Jesse, throwing to a wide-open Keelan Harris. He under 3, but it's caught at the 35 to the 30 to the 20. He's still going as he's finally nearly horse-collared and drugged down inside the 14-yard line.
What a call. Must have heard me down there. That was a great call. The little flea flicker, nobody covering Keelan Harris.
They're going to put it down at the 13-yard line, so a huge gain on 2nd down and 12. Keelan Harris, in my opinion, partner, has a chance to have a 200-yard receiving day against this secondary.
Well, if they man-to-man cover, there's no doubt they're going to do that. And then with the flea flicker plays, like I've been mentioning, the Crimson Storm is playing way up on all the runs. So as soon as that ball was handed off the running back, the second tier all came up, making it clear back in the secondary.
52-yard catch and run for Keelan Harris, who will be all-conference again. He last week became the school's all-time leading receiver in yards. He also was second in career touchdown receptions and number 1 on in Bison history for receptions. Hand off to Moore. Now it's a reverse. They toss it left. Running room. That is Harris to the 5, and he's in for the touchdown. And that's not Harris, that's Braden Phipps. And that is Braden Phipps' first touchdown of any kind since game number 10 of last year, a loss here to Henderson State.
Yeah, Braden Phipps showing great speed. We talk about his speed as a punter. Oklahoma Baptist all year long have not done a fake punt with him running yet. They attempted one with a pass. Another play where the Crimson Storm overplaying the run to the right, just run the reverse, get an easy score.
Here's Guillermo Garcia on for the extra point. GG on the season. He's converted 25 of 28 extra points. He is 50 for 55 in point after tries in his career. Phipps with a touchdown will hold it. The snap coming back from Peyton Russell. High snap. Braden gets it down. Very little rush, and Garcia's kick is good. So timeout. That drive took all of 50 seconds to go 63 yards in 3 plays. We have a new ball game, 14-7, Southern Nazarene. The second quarter brought to you by the OBU College of Graduate and Professional Studies on the OBU Radio Network.
football on the kickoff, but ruled down.
By the way, guys, would you like for me to leave the booth for the rest of the night? We had a little technical problem, and Sportscast Productions has solved it. But I'm gone, and I see that, OBU's on the board. Should I just exit or what?
Well, let's try it one more time. You go down and get me a Diet Pepsi during the next drive. How's that?
Okay, that'll be fine.
You brought a chili dog tonight.
That's every time there's an offensive switch and OBU's got the ball, I'll leave for some reason.
First and 10, Gage Porter and Southern Nazarene to their own 25-yard line, up a touchdown, 14-7 early second quarter. Porter fakes the handoff. He's going to run left, dances, and he's drugged down for no gain. OBU able to get penetration, and they were able to get him to the ground. He was waltzing around like Fred Astaire with nowhere to go. It's second down and 10.
And that's the kind of thing that the Bison have to do, take some gambles. Brett Carr, who that time shot a gap, got into the backfield, tackled the ball carrier that didn't have the ball, and, of course, the quarterback went left, but still stopped him at the line of scrimmage.
13:27 to play first half. It's second down and 10. SNU at their own 25-yard line. OBU 5-2 all-time in football against the Crimson Storm. They throw a lateral. That ball is incomplete. They say it was a forward pass now. It was underthrown, looking for Aaron Fellows. So it's going to be 3rd and 10, and here's an opportunity to get your defense off the field.
Well, aggressiveness again. Trajan Lands, who led OBU with 7 tackles last week at Henderson, he comes off the left edge, unblocked, straight at Gage Porter, made Porter get rid of the ball before he wanted to, and that was an easy incompletion.
Clock stops on the incompleted pass with 13:22 to play in the first half. 14-7, Oklahoma Baptist trails, but they just got themselves back in it with a 3-play, 63-yard drive, aided by Brooksy's exit from the booth. Gage Porter with Ramirez offset to the right. Porter wants to throw, or at least shows the threat of throwing, dumps it off over the middle. Ball is caught at the 30, breaks tackles, first down, outside the numbers 40, midfield 45, still stumbling, and it's down at the 34 of OBU. On the reception was Dalen Smith, and they should have, Scott, had him short of the first down marker.
Just bragging on Trajan Lands coming off the left edge earlier.
He missed him.
Forced the incompletion. This time bounced right off the legs. Would have had him 4 yards short of the line to gain. I like the call by the defense. Gabe Elisario had a blitz called, couple linebackers going. Porter had to get rid of it, just missed the tackle.
Could have, should have, would have. It turns out to be a first down for SNU, and they're back in OBU territory after a 41-yard catch and run by Dalen Smith, and that's 4 yards short of his season high. He had a 45-yarder, one of only 4 catches coming in. And it is a keeper on a zone read by Gage Porter. He drags one defender with him, and then finally Papula knocks him down at the 28-yard line. And there's an old song, Free Ride. Well, that's what should have been playing on the loudspeakers that time, because Gage gave a Bison defender a free ride.
There was one thing that I do like. It's happened now twice, maybe 3 times on this drive. The player that hasn't had the ball on the fake handoff has been hit by a defender. You've got to do that, because you know what? One time that ball's going in to that player's hand for a jet sweep, and it's goodbye city if you don't keep doing it.
Good point, Brooksy. Second down and 4th to 28, so they're perched just outside the Bison red zone again. In the backfield is Donald May. They empty it. Now Porter is going to run off the right end, makes a cut, has a first down to the 22-yard line. And boy, I'll tell you what, he is just so good, guys. It's 4, 5, 6 yards when it looks like there's very little there.
He wanted to throw that to his wide receiver, Andrew Tisdale. Thought about it for a moment. You know, he's a smart guy. He didn't try to force that baby in there. He knew he had a chance to run, and he did.
I hope Gage Porter is going to be first-team all-conference at quarterback. He's not going to win Offensive Player of the Year. T.J. Cole of Ouachita will take home that honor, but Gage Porter is definitely a first-team all-conference quarterback, regardless if SNU finishes with a losing record. From the 22, give inside to Angel Ramirez, and he's still fighting and struggling for yardage down to the 18, so they minimize the run to 4. It's going to bring up second down. We dip under 11 minutes to play in the first quarter. Crimson Storm 14, the Bison 7.
Elijah Tomlin, the first Bison there.
Southern Nazarene, before that carry, had rushed for 129 on 20 carries. Total offense through a little more than a quarter and a half has been 190. And the Lions' share has been on the ground as they've done it all season long. Second down and 6 at the 18-yard line. A full diamond look in the backfield. Ramirez behind Porter. They fake the handoff. Gage runs, slipped, stays on his feet, and still is able to get to the end and should have enough for the first down as he's all the way down to the 10 on a run of 8 yards.
Kendall Williams, the outside linebacker on the right side for Oklahoma Baptist, had contained. He went for the juke inside of Porter, and Porter got around him.
Yeah, he did.
Bison almost got a break, though, because he nearly slipped, and they still couldn't get him down before he sets up first down and goal to go at the 8-yard line with 10:15 and counting to play in a rapidly played first half here from Crane Family Stadium at the Herd Athletic Complex. Angel Ramirez is in the backfield. Gage Porter is out of the gun. Now they hand it off to Aaron Fellows, sweeping left, and Fellows is in for the touchdown.
What did I just say a moment ago? You've got to make sure every time on whoever's coming off that jet sweep. That time, was there anybody there? No. There was nobody.
What have we heard all year long? It's Gage Porter, 70% of the offense.
Yeah,
3 drives, 3 touchdowns from 3 different players for Southern Nazarene. Here's Atwell on for the extra point, an 8-yard touchdown run for Fellows, his second trip to the end zone this year. This taking place at the south end of the stadium. Good snap, ball down, kick is on the air, is on the way, and it is good.
And it was on the air, too.
Yeah, it was. 9:50. Thanks, Brooksy. 9:56 to play in the first half. Southern Nazarene 21, Oklahoma Baptist 7. First half brought to you by OBU College of Graduate and Professional Studies. This is OBU Football from Sportscast Productions on the Bison Radio Network.
OBU fans, do you want the chance to support OBU student athletes from the convenience of your own mobile device? Text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014 to support BAA student athletes. Donations are fully tax deductible, and every gift makes a difference in the OBU student athlete's life. Again, text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014. For more information, log on to obubison.com.
Game sets them up into OBU territory. And it took them 3 more plays to cap it with an 8-yard run. It's 21-7 SNU.
I didn't want to think of it at the time, but I filed it away, hoping it wouldn't be true. It was. The missed tackle on the pass out here in the flat at the 40 turns into a 41-yard gain. They just keep right on going. If Trajan's able to bring him down, he tried to tackle him high. Yeah, that was tough. He pulled loose. If he gets him down, it's 14-7. The guys in green and gold have the ball right now.
When you are struggling and you're struggling with injuries, Scott, every chance you have to get off the field, you need to take advantage of, and the Bison missed a golden one there.
Yeah, and Trajan Lands made a great defensive play to force that in to the 3rd and 10 situation, coming off that left edge, forcing Porter to get rid of the football. That was still a hard open field tackle, but all he has got to do, even if he doesn't make the tackle, is hang on, and then help will come.
Ryan Reed, a deep kickoff, his best of the night from the 8. It's Harris inside the numbers to the 20. Key trying to run right, does get to the quarter. He's to the 30. Harris across the 35 and down near the 37-yard line. So Key, who came in kickoff returns, averaging over 22, has had 2 really good efforts here in the first half and good starting field position for Amari Jesse in the Bison.
Well, Keelan Harris is so fast. That takes so much speed to go all the way across the field. He catches the ball way left of the right hash, and he goes the right hash of the kickoff team. Then he goes way to the outside numbers of the right side of the kick return team to make that nice return past the 35.
Single setback is E.J. Moore. We've still not seen Buddy Bazell since he was shaken up on the opening drive. Jesse claps his hands. Now they're going to change the play with 8 seconds to snap it. 9:47 to play here in the first half. It's 1st and 10 Oklahoma Baptist at the 37, and they're not going to get the play off. And Chris Jensen was screaming in the head linesman's ear with the near side, timeout, timeout. So that'll take us to a local break with 9:42 to play in the first half. 21-7, Southern Nazarene of the OBU Football Radio Network.
Estate planning is a crucial step in protecting your family's future. With an estate plan, you can decide how to distribute your assets, make healthcare decisions, and support ministries after you pass away. It involves some pretty big decisions, but with guidance from Water's Edge, you can plan for your children's future, give to kingdom causes, and get expert help along the way. Build a solid foundation for your family. Start your estate plan today. Visit watersedgeservices.org.
Well, they cut the timeout short on first down. They give it straight ahead to E.J. Moore, who picks up 4 to the 41. Second down and 6 from that point. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 receiver to the far side. Phipps now will motion to the far side. They give it again to Moore. He tried to make a jump cut in the backfield and is swallowed under. Boy, great pursuit that time to the football as they just whipped the Bison to the point of attack, and it was Ben Rutherford, a redshirt freshman linebacker, that ended that play.
Well, once again, the Crimson Storm, they're just playing run. They're almost letting the wide receivers go deep. They're coming up so much. That's why that flea flicker and those passes to Harris are wide open.
8:36 to play here in the first half. Todd Miller, Scott Wattis, John Brooks, the final game of the 2022 Great American Conference football season. 3 receivers in a diamond formation to the near side. Jesse looks to throw, has all day long. Now Amari pulls it down. Jitterbugs the defender, has a first down across the 45 and out to the 47-yard line. How about Brooksy? That run by Amari Jesse, as he looked like guys you used to call back in the days of the old Sooners.
Well, yeah, a little bit. Let's not go completely crazy.
I didn't say he was as good. I said he was jitterbuggy.
But hey, he made a nice move. He started to cut inside, saw the lane was blocked, took 1 step to the left, took 3 steps, and lunged for the first down.
First down and 10 on the 47-yard line, so a big conversion there. Jesse fakes the handoff. He rolls right. Amari throws across the way. It's underthrown, and Harris was unable to come back and make a rolling catch. It would have been a first down catch at the 41. Instead, it's incomplete. The clock stops with 7:57 to play in the first half. A 2-touchdown lead for SNU here on the curtain closer of 2022.
You know, I know Amari's looking for the guy that can do something, but he's down on his knees. He had Sam Sharp in the flat. Throw it to Sam short. He's going to pick up the first down.
Sam Sharp, if you're listening and watching to the stadium, is wearing number 2 tonight, not his normal 38. He is the backup quarterback should something happen to Amari Jesse. 2nd and 10, give straight ahead to Moore, and look at him pick his way for good yardage as he'll get almost 6 to the 49 of SNU, bringing up 3rd down and short. Bison on 3rd downs tonight are 2 of 3.
What a move by Moore. He's going to get plastered from the second wave of the defense, and without moving his feet, he moved his body, upper body to the side. The defender went by, and he gets 3 more.
OBU was 8 of 15 last week on 3rd down conversions in Arkadelphia against Henderson State, a season best. They're off to a great start tonight, 2 of 3. 3rd down and 5 of the 49. They need to get to the 43-yard line of SNU. 1 tight is Sharp. That's Frazier to the far side. He gets a block. Jesse rolls right, throws wide open on the far side is Sharp. First down, 30, and he's dumped truck down at the 26-yard line. Elijah Calhoun just took his legs and flipped him head over heels, but a good catch and run for a first down by Sam.
I like Amari Jesse. Fake the handoff. He got play action, a lot of pressure. He, with his legs, he buys some time moving outside the pocket to the right side. Wide open Sam Sharp.
A gain of 22 and a first down conversion. Guys, I think Amari Jesse looks pretty good. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. In the backfield, E.J. Moore, tight end right is Sharp. Play action pass. He'll throw it up right. It's underthrown. Phipps trying to come back, is knocked to the ground, and pass interference is going to be called. We're going to call it
Holden Hill.
On Holden Hill. And that is a break, guys, for OBU, because in northwest Oklahoma, where I lived for 22 years, a ball that anything that flutters like that usually shot down.
Well, that's what caused the pass interference. Holden Hill did not know where the football was. Amari Jesse throws it straight up for the left flag, and Hill just runs right over Phipps.
That's a good description, straight up.
Well, it did look like a dying duck, I can tell you that. It looked like a pop fly that you barely got a piece of the bat on, and then it looked like the duck falling all the way down. That thing could have been picked off, too. There were a lot of possibilities on that. You could go hunting, or you could get a penalty, or you could have had an interception.
We'll take the penalty and a first down. OBU came in through 10 games with the most first downs earned via penalty. This one puts the ball at the 12. Jesse to throw for the 20. Looking and throwing right. Look there. It's Tech Frazier with his first career reception. Frazier is down to the 5-yard line. It's second down and short.
Frazier.
He was eligible.
What a big man he is. He kept Cole McMahon, the linebacker, on his backside. It's hard to get around a big man like Zach Frazier, so he's wide open.
I hope they get him in the end zone tonight. Second down and 5 at the 7. Moore starts to motion to the far side. It's an empty backfield for Jesse. Is this a quarterback draw? Amari will do just that, and he's in trouble and drugged down. He manages to get back to the line of scrimmage and no further, and Nick Blanchard, a backup defensive end, was right there in the vicinity as well.
Cole McMahon was the spy on Amari Jesse, where that's why Jesse could not make that quarterback draw work.
5:55 to play here in the first half. OBU down 21-7. They've yet to shut Southern Nazarene out and force a punt in the first half. Motion man to the far side. Now out of the Wildcat, it's Buddy Bazell, and they diagnosed that one with Cole McMahon as he, the sophomore from Rockwall, Texas, drops him for a loss of 1 back to the 8. And now it's third down and goal to go with 5:20 to play in the half.
Zach Frazier with another pancake block on linebacker Dylan Bauer, but it was wasted. He couldn't block all 3 defenders on the right edge.
They did mark at a yard loss, so it's going to bring up 4th down and 6.
No field goal.
No,
Go
you can't
for it.
trade touchdowns for field goals when you're having trouble stopping the other guy. Braden Phipps with the only touchdown on the board at this point in the ball game is wide to the near side along with Zach Frazier, the tight end. And now a timeout called by Oklahoma Baptist.
No, I think it was SNU.
Was it Southern Nazarene?
Yeah,
It was.
yeah.
5:04 to play in the half. 21-7 the score. And, man, you need to get something out of this. This is an 11-play drive that started back at your own 37-yard line. OBU coming into this ball game 10th in the league, despite an 84% success rate in the red zone. They have 20 touchdowns from the 20-yard line in. That's the 3rd fewest in the Great American Conference this season.
You know, if this season was different, if that record was 7-3 right now, you know what? They'd be kicking the field goal. At 1-10, they're not kicking the field goal, and no reason to kick it. I mean, if you don't get it and you're down 2, fine, you're down 2. Kicking field goals, like you said, is going to be tough against this team anyway. But the record, the season, everything else just seals it. This is a no-brainer to go for 4th down.
John,
right
I
here.
just got a text from the producer and the owner of the Bison Sports Network, said with good commentary, Brooksy will be back next year.
Really?
Yeah. How about that guy?
Well, he's a smart guy, I'll tell you that.
4th down and 6, Oklahoma Baptist at the 8-yard line of Southern Nazarene. E.J. Moore, the single setback. 2 tight ends now for Amari Jesse. They motion Harris from right to left of the formation. 4 down linemen. Jesse feels the pressure. He's in trouble. Eludes one wave of defenders, not a second. They sack him at the 13-yard line.
Jesse's got to realize 4th down, no matter what, just throw it up.
Exactly.
If it's intercepted, he's right in between defenders. All he has to do is step back. There's 4 gold jerseys in the end zone.
Well, and one of them wears number 1, and so you throw it that way in that situation, and you're right, intercepted, fine, because if they intercept there and they're not in the end zone, they're a lot deeper than where they are right now. No, and you're right. Look, he's a 4th-team quarterback who's played pretty darn well here in the first half. You can't expect him to be right on everything, but you are correct. That's when you toss the football.
35th sack allowed by OBU. This is the first time that they have played with the same offensive lineman 4 consecutive weeks. From the 12-yard line, Gage Porter handles the snap. Now he will keep it running left and is able to manage a couple out to the 14-yard line.
Trajan lands on the tackle.
OBU men's basketball tip it off as we speak. in Wayne, Nebraska against Wayne State's Wildcats. OBU lost last night to 21st-ranked Minnesota State Moorhead. 4.5 minutes to play here in the first half. This game started at 6. This game is only 50 minutes old, and we're almost to halftime. Second and 8. Porter, a high snap, laterals it across the way. Ball is snatched at time, and I believe that's Davis, the backup quarterback. Or correction, that's Jarrell Farr, and Farr has a first down to the 32-yard line.
Kendall Williams, the outside linebacker there on the right side. He's got to guess, either go after Porter or go with Jarrell Farr on the outside. Porter gets the ball over the top of Williams, big gain.
Am I right in describing this offense as a shell game?
Well,
you're just guessing at where the ball is.
Yeah, as soon as you give up those big runs, now it's already set up for Porter and his fake. So now it is a guessing game at the beginning. If you can contain some of those plays, then you've got Southern Nazarene where you want them.
18-yard catch, and it's a first down to the 32. Porter back to throw for the 22. He's going to step up. He's running out of time. Misses, gets away from Smith. Now he's going to run left, hit as he throws, and dumps it off incomplete. And, boy, they had him dead to right about 2 or 3 times behind the line of scrimmage, and in heavy pursuit was Peter Papula.
And I think it was Malik Allen at the last second that kind of bumped Gage Porter as he was throwing it. Papula back there in pressure as well, but Malik Allen underneath made that throw go into the ground.
That play took almost as long as the entire second quarter. Clock stops with 3:29 to play in the half. It's 21-7, second and 10, Southern Nazarene. Wide receivers left and right. They have a tight end with his hand on the turf to the near side. One back set is Donald May with running room, 40, first down, 45, and tiptoes his way out of bounds into the SNU sideline.
Well, John alluded to before, when that guy comes across on the jet sweep, that time it was May, you've got to hit him. They get that full speed going. But as Todd mentioned as well, now it's a guessing game because Porter is so effective with the run. You don't know if he's going to fake it, but that full speed coming around and another big first down.
13 yards. Donald May is one of 3 Crimson Storm receivers that coming into this ballgame have more carries than receptions for the year. Through 10 games, 9 catches, 22 carries. They put him in the backfield, and now they'll replace him with Angel Ramirez, who runs behind left guard, and he's tackled to the 49, give him 4. And it's second down. That will take us under 2.5 minutes to play in the second quarter. OBU yet to force a Southern Nazarene punt here in the first half. Crimson Storm, once they get that lead, they're tough to beat because even fight a leaky defense, they really have good control of the game clock. A little lateral out to the left, and the ball is caught, and a gain out to the 48-yard line. I believe that was Asia Robertson on the catch. It's going to bring up third down and short for SNU.
Scotty's left. He's headed down, just so you know.
I figured.
I wanted to add to the scenery, so I passed that on to you. Okay.
Third down. That's why you're a Hall of Famer, Brooksy.
Without question.
That's why you're a Hall of Famer. Right. No other reason than that. Third and 3 at the 48. Single setback, tight end is right. Now they'll motion Aaron Fellows to the far side. And it is a keeper by Porter. Cuts right at the 41 and is spun down to the 39-yard line.
There is the situation right there, Todd, why this guy is really pretty magical. He's been trying all kinds of things. He's got people on the jet sweep. He's done counters and everything. That time, he puts the ball into the belly of the running back and stays with him. The two look like a tandem going down there. And then at the last moment, after they've run together for about 2 or 3 yards, he pulls it loose and gets another 8 behind him.
Fresh set of downs after a 9-yard Porter run to the 39-yard line. Gage in a pistol formation. High snap. Now he fakes the handoff, dumps it over the middle. The ball's caught, and that is Robertson for a first down as he's inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line.
You know, you were talking about Gage on the pregame show, and you've already said twice he should be maybe the first-team quarterback. I'll add to this right after this play right here.
First and 10, Southern Nazarene to the 23-yard line. OBU trying to get off the field. Wide receivers left and right. Give straight ahead. Some running room again. And the ball carrier hit at the 14-yard line. And now the Crimson Storm are going to spend a timeout with 34 seconds to play in the half and perched inside the 15-yard line.
That was Carlos Cepeda, the backup fullback, a sophomore, on that carry. They've had a lot of personnel in there. They've had numerous wide receivers. They've had people in the flat. They've had 4 different running backs. This offense has been very, very impressive. But the thing about Gage Porter is, you know, we've seen some pretty good quarterbacks this year, and you've had a good reason to say, hey, this might be the best quarterback in the league. And I've heard this now for about 3 or 4 games this year from you. But you know what? I believe for versatility and everything, this guy right here might end up being the best that we saw this year.
I can tell you this, Brooks, it's going to be interesting to see what the future for Destin Hayda looks like going forward, because we've seen Southern Nazarene with Gage Porter hurt and playing hurt or completely out, and it's not been pretty. He is the reason that they are 4-6 and have a chance to set a Division II era record with 5 wins if they win here tonight in Shawnee. Total offense, incidentally, 34 snaps, 285 after that carry for the Storm. 21 snaps, 135 for OBU. It feels like Southern Nazarene has had the ball a lot more than just 13 snaps, the advantage of this ball game.
Yeah, for sure.
34 seconds to play first half. Crimson Storm trying to make it a 3-possession lead going into the halftime locker room. Gage Porter with Angel Ramirez in the backfield. Now the tight end will motion from left to right of the formation. Still plenty of time. Now they send Robertson in motion to the far side. It's a sweep that way, and he gets to the corner. A flag is down as White Bear spins him out of bounds after a minimal gain, but there was so much movement that play's probably coming back.
Well, you know, you've had 2 flags, I think. I think you had one from the line judge.
Yep,
but I
there's
think
one over where the tackle occurred, too.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking there may be 2 penalties here. We're going to see from Joey Newsom in a moment, but I believe you might have a hold coming here also. And here's Joey Newsom to explain it after he's had a conference.
28 seconds to play here in the first half. Adam Atwell this season is just 1 for 3 in field goals. Southern Nazarene is 2 for 6 on field goals attempted this year, and all of them coming inside the red zone. There is Joey Newsom. It is a holding against Andy Cardenas, and that is the only flag. So they threw 2 flags on 1 foul. That will negate a decent run on second down and short and bring up second down and 11 of the line of scrimmage. Will go back to the 24-yard line. 21-7, Southern Nazarene. 28 seconds to play here in the first half. The McIntyre Law halftime report is coming up in a moment. Empty backfield. Porter's going to run out of the gun. Runs up the middle, bounces out left, now stretched out, dumps it off. A receiver's wide open, and it's caught for the touchdown. It's Asia Robertson. Gage Porter looked like for everything in the world he was going to run with the football, and then all of a sudden just pulled up. I think OBU thought he was going to run too because they came off of Robertson, who was wide open.
Well, I think everybody thought he was running out of bounds, including Gage Porter. But suddenly, as he got to the boundary, he looked up. There's nobody on the receiver because everybody had come up thinking the play was over. You've got to credit this guy. He's doing magic here tonight. And he did it right then because most guys would have run out of bounds and stopped the clock. He kept looking downfield. That's the reason they got more points.
Atwell's extra point is on the way, and it is good with 19 seconds to play in the first half. It's 28-7.
Well,
it's not a flag, but it'll certainly work for one, won't it?
That could possibly be the white flag calling for help, yeah. You know, if you go to the dressing room, let them kick the field goal, okay. If you go to the dressing room, even down 24-7, you're going to get the ball to start the second half. And if by chance you go down and score, at least in the mind, you're down 10 at that time. So this baby now just flips completely because now you're down 21. And they got one half of football left for the season, and it doesn't look very promising.
10 plays, 88 yards. Pretty good drive. He averaged almost 9 yards a snap.
Yep.
Porter, the final 24 with his second touchdown.
Can producers and owners of networks vote for the all-conference team?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Go ahead and phone my vote in for quarterback,
Yeah.
okay?
He's got mine, too, so it's unanimous with Scott out of the booth. Right. Porter has run for one, thrown for a score. 28-7 the score. And Ryan Reed will kick off. Ugly first half for Gabe Elisario's defense. They'll squib it up the middle, and the Bison are going to field it past the 25. A little hesitation that time by Matthew Norman, and he finally advances across the 35 up to the 37-yard line with 12 seconds to play in the half.
You know, the final game of the year, you always try to do something different if you're producing a game, and so you're going to have to do the introduction, but we have an assistant producer in the booth here tonight, Todd.
Leighton McMurphy is here with his dad, Casey. Leighton is intense on what's going on in this booth, as sometimes you've been this season.
Yeah,
Brooks.
exactly. He probably has a future as a producer based on what I've seen in the first half of play, without question. Yeah. Here we go, the final play of the half. Let's hope.
First and 10 to the 37-yard line. 2-by-3 formation, empty backfield for Amari Jesse. Juggles the snap. Now he's going to run 40, 45, first down to midfield. Jesse tackled at the 47-yard line.
Call timeout quick. Not
4
the last
seconds,
play.
and they do stop the clock for the movement of the chains, and now OBU will spin the timeout. So a first down run to the 48-yard line. A gain of 15. That's the second charge timeout for Oklahoma Baptist here in the half.
All right, Todd, at least for those people on the network listening on KGFF, both AM and FM, okay, you're going to be calling a lot of basketball.
Starts the regular season. We've actually done an exhibition game, but it starts for real for the men. Their home opener next Thursday night, 7:30 to tip off against Missouri Western. Pregame at 7 o'clock with Scott and I on OBUBison.com, KGFF.com, 1450 and 100.9 here in Shawnee. First and 10, Oklahoma Baptist at the 48-yard line. They'll rush 3, drop 8 into coverage. Jesse being pressured now is going to throw it up the right sideline, and the ball is underthrown and intercepted for the 11. Out to the 20, to the 25-yard line, and tackled at the 30 on what will be the final play here of the first half. So 30 minutes in the books. OBU trails 28-7 at halftime here in Shawnee to the visitors from Bethany. We'll pause for these local messages and begin the McIntyre Law halftime show in just a moment. At the break, Crimson Storm 28, OBU 7. This is Bison football on the radio on the OBU Radio Network. Baptist had been outscored 236-99 in the first half of their first 10 games. Tonight it is 28-7, and now it is 264-106 after a 28-7 Southern Nazarene lead at the break. Before we begin our McIntyre Law halftime show, let's step aside for stations to identify themselves. This is Bison Football, presented by Sportscast Productions on the OBU Radio Network. OBU Palm Squad performing here in the final halftime act of the season. 28-7 Southern Nazarene in the rivalry week matchup here at Oklahoma Baptist. Let's pass along a basketball score for you. They're at halftime at Wayne State College in Wayne, Nebraska. OBU's been tied with Wayne State at 31. Paul King had 21 last night against Minnesota State Moorhead. He has 21 at halftime on 8 of 14 shooting. And, hey, Scott, I owe you an apology. I totally forgot about Gabe Elisario in your interview. I bet Gabe's just as happy to go get warm.
Well, you know what? He was really nice. He wants us all to come to his office and talk about the season. He feels bad about the outcome, but he thinks everybody on the sports broadcast productions does a great job, and he just wanted to say thank you to all of us.
Tell you what, I've worked with a lot of coaches, and I know, Scott, you've worked just with as many or more in your sports writing career. Gabe Elisario is about as good of a man as I've ever seen. And I will say this, I've said it now for 3 weeks. What is happening has nothing to do with the effort of the coaching staff. Those guys have their noses to the grindstone week in and week out just as much as they did the last couple of years.
No doubt about it, and all the injuries, and we talked about Chase Whitebear, Brett Carhu, who are going to be future stars their junior and senior years. Gabe Elisario said, I can't wait for a full off season. Obviously, it's a disappointing season, only one victory this year, but everybody knows about the injuries. You can make excuses, the coaches won't, but it's just been a tough year.
It is part of the story, though, and it certainly is to be talked about, the injury situation on Bison Hill. I guess one silver lining in all this, you're getting some young guys more playing time than perhaps they expected they would see coming into the season. 28-7 is our score at halftime here on the McIntyre Law halftime show. Ramirez a 17-yard touchdown run, Porter an 8-yard rush, Phipps a 13-yard touchdown run, Fellows with an 8-yard rush, and Robertson a 24-yard touchdown pass. All the scoring here in the first half, it's 28-7. Southern Nazarene's drives have been 8 plays, 66 yards, 7 plays, 90 yards, 8 plays, 75, and the last was a 10-play, 88-yard drive to make it 28-7 here at intermission. Stay tuned. More on our halftime show brought to you by McIntyre Law. Brooksy's up next with much more, including a statistical recap on the Bison Radio Network.
Here at SCI Supply, you truly can purchase with purpose. Whether you're a university, a K-12 school, a local nonprofit, a church, or an individual, we have exactly what you're looking for. And 100% of the profit from your purchase stays here to fulfill the mission of providing vocational training, employment opportunities, and residential care to individuals with special need. So remember, how does your purchase make a purpose? By investing in South Central, the official office supply store of OBU Athletics.
At Boomerang, we are proud to say that word of mouth has filled our restaurants for over 15 years. The appeal to Boomerang covers all ages. Come and visit our Shawnee locations and you will see why we have been voted Best Burger, Best Breakfast, and Best Waitress.
Spending life wisely means taking small steps towards a life of love and impact. And we're here to inspire and empower you along the way. Spend life wisely. First United Bank.
OBU fans, do you want the chance to support OBU student athletes from the convenience of your own mobile device? Text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014 to support BAA student athletes. Donations are fully tax deductible, and every gift makes a difference in the OBU student athlete's life. Again, text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014. For more information, log on to obubison.com.
I'm Noble McIntyre. When I started the McIntyre Law Firm, I knew I didn't want to be a firm with a reputation that settled as quickly as possible with as little effort as possible. I didn't want the defense lawyers and insurance companies to see my name on the list of firms that will always settle and never want to fight for the full value of a client's claim. A firm that avoids the courtroom in exchange for an easy settlement will never be offered full value. If you need someone that tries cases and doesn't just settle, call McIntyre Law for a meeting at no cost to you. We are McIntyre Law, and we will fight for you.
Estate planning is a crucial step in protecting your family's future. With an estate plan, you can decide how to distribute your assets, make healthcare decisions, and support ministries after you pass away. It involves some pretty big decisions, but with guidance from Water's Edge, you can plan for your children's future, give to kingdom causes, and get expert help along the way. Build a solid foundation for your family. Start your estate plan today. Visit watersedgeservices.org.
OBU Athletics and First United Bank are now excited to announce that First United Bank is the official banking partner of OBU Athletics. Visit their North Harrison Street location today and ask about how you can make a statement with the OBU debit card.
I'm attorney Jordan Klinger, partner at McIntyre Law. Before I came to McIntyre Law, I worked for an insurance company that defends cases. That experience provides me insight into how insurance companies operate. That knowledge helps me get the most for our clients. For way too long, insurance companies and major corporations have pushed around hard-working Oklahomans. McIntyre Law pushes back. If you need someone that tries cases and doesn't just settle, call McIntyre Law for a meeting at no cost to you. We are McIntyre Law and will fight for you.
All right, let's go to the Great American Conference scoreboard, see what's happened for
82 yards. 2 of the completions went for 30 yards. The other one went for 52 to Key. Harris has 1 catch tonight for 52 and a couple of drops. So Ryan Reed will place the ball on the tee at the 35. There is very little wind tonight. The flag's totally limp at the north end, and he swings his leg, and the left-footed boot is off. And here we go. From the 10-yard line, it's Harris. Straight ahead of the 15 to the 20. Key dragging defenders with him, and he dives all the way out to the 28-yard line where the Bison will have it first down and 10. Walking back from halftime, and heard somebody yell my name, it's former Bison quarterback Preston Hare. He among some of the program's greats down there in that southwest corner of Crane Family Stadium, the Herd Athletic Complex, coming back home to watch the Bison here against Southern Nazarene. Preston is here. Josh Cornell is here. Also, Brian Cordell, his brother, great offensive lineman for the Bison. Josh Arnold, just to name a few. Wonder if we could get them suited up, let them play the final 30 minutes, and good chance the Bison could make a rally from a 3-touchdown deficit. First and 10 at the 29-yard line. Give straight ahead, and not much running room as they'll pick up about 3 out to the 31-yard line. That was Buddy Bazell on the first carry of the second half. He has been quiet. Bazell in the first half, 21 yards and a long of 17. Gains 2, second down at 8 at the 31-yard line for Oklahoma Baptist. Opening half-minute of play here in the third quarter. Cold night. Game time temperatures in the upper 40s. It felt more like the the upper 30s with what wind chill there was. 2 tight ends in a pistol formation. Jesse fakes the handoff. He drops. Now he dances. He's going to run right. He's in trouble. And he runs up the back of a blocker, and he's going to be sacked. Second sack for the Crimson Storm, and that comes back at the 27-yard line. So a loss of 4 is going to bring up third down and 11 on this, the first possession of the second half for OBU.
Yeah, Amari Jesse had a deep drop back that time. Michael Marshall lined up on the left hash, was going for the post pattern. Jesse thought he had him at first, but another safety came to double him. So Marshall was bracketed. Smart play by Jesse not to uncork that throw.
OBU was 2 of 4. That's pretty good. Much better than their 29% coming in on third down conversions in the first half. The problem, though, no punts forced by the Bison defense, and SNU is 4 of 4 on third downs. Third and 11, Jesse to throw. Throws it out left, near side. Marshall with a catch at the 30. Breaks tackle, first down, 40, and almost slipped an ankle tackle as he stumbles to the 44-yard line. That's a gain of 15 at a first down on third and long.
You know, I talked to Mike Marshall on the field before the game. I said, hey, you're going to get loose here one of these times. He goes, thanks, babe, I'm going to. And that was a huge third down play. On a screen back on the wide side of the field, Marshall cuts up on the angle for the first down.
First and 10 to the 44-yard line. Amari Jesse's going to throw it out left again for Marshall, and the ball was thrown to the outside shoulder. On the near side boundary, Josh Johnson, the corner from Borger, Texas, was there in coverage. Second down and 10.
Yeah, Marshall was pushing off a little bit, trying to get some separation down the left boundary. A lot of hand fighting there by the defensive back, but the ball was thrown out of bounds regardless.
Nabavi comes in for the near side, a sophomore from Cashin High School. His younger brother Nick is a redshirt freshman this year here on Bison Hill. Bazell gets the handoff, bounces out left, and a good tackle. Boy, he had some yardage, but Cole Sissick was able to get him by the hips and sling him down, and that will go for no gain. So it's third down and long again for the Bison.
Boy, great tackle in the open field. If Bazell just gets away, holds on to that foot at the last second and does not let go.
12:24 and counting to play, third quarter, 28-7, a big conversion right here. OBU needs to get to the 46 of the Crimson Storm. They face third and 10. Told you earlier they're 3 of 4 on third down tries tonight. They empty the backfield. Amari Jesse stands tall, throws over the middle. It's through Harris's hands, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Obina, and he is going to return it inside the OBU 45-yard line. That ball just went right through the hands of Key, and he has had a tough night on this cold evening holding on to the football.
Well, there's a lot of mustard on that pass. Only a 6 or 7 yard pass past the line of scrimmage. When it's that hard, sometimes it's hard to hold on. You're going to get a deflection. Emmanuel Obina right behind, sticks with the pigskin for the interception.
Coming in 10 games, the Crimson Storm was -7 in turnover margin. They're -5 now. They only had 3 interceptions, and they have 2 tonight. So it's first down and 10, Southern Nazarene at the 43-yard line at OBU territory. First time tonight either school has started the opposition's end of the field. 12-12 to play, third quarter. Gage Porter opens with a single setback. That is Angel Ramirez. Porter to throw from midfield. Throws it over the middle, and the pass incomplete. Somebody may have hit his arm, Scott, as that ball was woefully short of its intended target.
Peter Papula hit him low. Brett Carhu hit him high.
That intended target was Asia Robertson, who had the last of 4 Crimson Storm touchdowns in the first half. A 24-yard reception for a score from Gage Porter. Porter's 10th throwing touchdown of the year to go along with now 26 scores. Clock stops and the incompleted pass. Nearly 3 minutes gone, third quarter. OBU with the first possession, turned it over on an Obina interception. He returned it to the 43-yard line of OBU, where it's second down and 10 on the incompleted pass. Ramirez with 2 receivers left and right. Now they're going to send Fellows to the far side, and they'll give it straight ahead to Ramirez, who blasts inside the 40 down to the 38-yard line. That's a gain of 5. Going to set up third down and 5. And against Southern Nazarene tonight, 4 of 4 on third down conversions.
Just that read option, just Ramirez getting a good full speed right at that line of scrimmage. That time Porter hands it off, doesn't take it himself.
Third down and 5 at the 38-yard line. 11:41 and counted to play, third quarter. 28-7 Crimson Storm. 3 receivers to the far side. Single setback, Ramirez. Split off the left hip of Porter. Porter looks left. They diagnose that play. Now Gage is going to try to run. He pulls up, dumps it off, incomplete. Pulled up just at the line of scrimmage and threw it in the middle of the field, intended for Dalen Smith.
Brett Carhu getting around, putting the pressure on Porter to get it rid of it quickly. Elijah Tomlin also came from the linebacker position to flush Porter out of the pocket.
You know, there are some pieces out there on defense to build around in the future for Gabe Elisario, and one of those is Brett Carr, who's really played well in an extended role from the midpoint of the season. Crimson Storm will go for it on 4th and 5. This year they've converted 12 of 19, third best in the conference. Ramirez offset to the left. They motion Robertson. It's a fake handoff, and now Porter keeps it for a first down to the 29-yard line. A gain of 9. He's averaged over 6.5 yards per carry tonight.
I mean, who did you think was going to carry that football?
Porter, 91 net yards in the first half, and he is over 100. That marks the 10th time in 11 regular season games.
It's just still a little staggering, though. You know, he's either going to hand that ball off or he's going to run with it. That time they get the corner man covered on the sweep, but there's an alley up the middle. I don't know why the alley's happening.
And there's no penetration up in the A gaps or the B gaps, and so Porter just gets to pick which lane he runs in.
First and 10, Storm at the 29-yard line. Porter will keep it up the field, dragging defenders out of an ankle tackle inside the 10, and that's where they will stop him after a 19-yard run. And SNU's offense is just humming along with very little resistance.
Well, 5'11", 226. You see a lot of 226 quarterbacks. This guy, you know, he's hard to pull down, hard to get down. That time he had 4 players hanging on to him, 3 on top, 1 down below. He took him an extra 7 and didn't charge him anything.
Out of the ball game is Aaron Fellows. Aaron Tisdale checks in. He's wide left. They will go with a full diamond backfield. May motions to the far side. They look that way. Porter is going to keep it. He's inside the 5, and he'll walk in for the touchdown.
Southern Nazarene, really good blocking schemes to help Porter. Porter knew he was going to run on the left side. The Crimson Storm pushes the line to the right side, up the left side, wide open for Porter to go through.
That is a new series high in points scored for the Crimson Storm. They beat OBU in the first meeting in 2015 to snap a 30-plus game losing streak. In doing so, they scored 33. Tonight they have 34, pinning the extra point. And Gage Porter, among the nation's leaders in total offense, has rushed for 2 and thrown for a score. Adam Atwell, to this point, perfect, 4 of 4 on the night. Out of the hole to Blatnick Ray at the south end. Ray gets the ball down, kick is in the air, and it is good over the hospitality tents beyond the south end zone. Timeout, 10:04 to play, third quarter. Third quarter brought to you by McIntyre Law. It's Southern Nazarene 35, Oklahoma Baptist 7. This is OBU Football, produced by Sportscast Productions of the Bison Radio Network.
Hey.
Here at SCI Supply, you truly can purchase with purpose. Whether you're a university, a K-12 school, a local nonprofit, a church, or an individual, we have exactly what you're looking for. And 100% of the profit from your purchase stays here to fulfill the mission of providing vocational training, employment opportunities, and residential care to individuals.
And once Gage Porter got settled in and had some big gains, now the jet sweep, everything's working.
Incidentally, there was a flag at the end of the play, the extra point. It was against Southern Nazarene, so they will be.
There might be a chance for a return again, but there's always been a chance for a return.
Actually, the penalty was against
OBU.
OBU.
It's against OBU. Oh, there won't be a chance.
Well,
maybe.
I'm telling you, Joey Newsom was pointing the way of the Crimson Storm.
Was he?
Yeah. I didn't hear what he said, but he was pointing the way of SNU. It was against the Bison, who were penalized for a season-low one time for 10 yards last week.
Yeah, they didn't have a penalty in the first half.
Nope. They moved back to the third fewest penalized team in the league.
Which you can talk about when you're 1-10.
1-9.
Did I shut everybody up? Apparently so.
Here's
the kick.
Ryan Reed's kick, and that will go into the end zone about 4 yards deep. It'll be a touchback. 10:04 to play in the ball game, or the third quarter. 35-7 Southern Nazarene. This team has been as good or better than advertised tonight.
Well, I think we could go ahead and safely say that Southern Nazarene has now established their biggest win total in a season in their NCAA Division II regime.
Amari Jesse is the quarterback. It looks like Nate Anderson is out there as the single setback. 4 receivers, 3 flanked to the near side. Jesse claps his hands. They'll toss it left. The toss was behind the running back as he turns the quarter left and gets out of bounds. And that was Chris Min that was out there and not Nate Anderson, as Min is going to gain to the 28-yard line, a short gain of 3.
You know, Todd, on that new record for Southern Nazarene for wins in a season in Division II, they're 5-6. Actually, they can say they finished in the top half because there's a 3-way tie for 6th in a 12-team league.
3 receivers right, 1 left, 1 back set again is Chris Min. The senior played his final game, or a redshirt junior, should I say, here at Shawnee. Jesse to throw, throws deep left for Michael Marshall, and he tried to stretch out, make a one-handed catch, and now a flag comes into the end of the play. Ethan Miner, the boundary corner, in coverage, tugged on him a little too much.
Yeah, Miner was holding the right arm of Michael Marshall down the left sideline.
And it was the field judge, David Ward. That was a pretty easy call for David Ward. I mean, he's standing there 10 yards away looking straight at it. That was not a difficult call to make.
So 15 yards will put the ball very near midfield. It'll be at the 43-yard line. Bison have been able to move the ball some, but they have had trouble finding the end zone. Turned it over on downs to the red zone on an interception earlier. Total offense, 352 to 168. Jesse will throw it in the backfield. Chris Min with some good speed gets to the corner, 45, and is tripped up and flipped head over heels at midfield. That's a gain of 7. Going to bring up second down and short. Clock continues to wind with 9:19 to play in the third.
Little wheel route to the right side. Amari Jesse leads men perfectly. He really got up to full speed there just in 3 yards to get that momentum going forward.
Got to be rushing. No, that was a lateral.
Jesse, before that, was 4 of 10, but you're right, it'll count as a run and not a pass. Now Jesse is going to keep it himself, run for the first down, lowers his helmet, and is hit head on to the 45-yard line. And that'll be enough to refresh the down marker again with 8:50 to play in the third quarter.
You know, it hasn't been pretty, and it's not going to be pretty the rest of the way. But to take a positive out of this, Amari Jesse it would be hard to believe if you walked into the stadium that this was a fourth-team quarterback.
1st and 10 to the 45 of Southern Nazarene. 4 receivers, 2 each way. And they fake the handoff, and now it is, that's actually Jesse with the keeper, and a flag comes down as he's shoved out of bounds at the 30-yard line. His momentum carries him all the way 4 lanes into the track on the near side. Let's see if the run holds. It's a 15-yard gain, but a flag was thrown back behind the play just as it was coming to an end.
Holding, number 18, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay.
Michael Marshall was called for the hold. It is a spot foul. So the play will turn out to be just 2 yards in actual field position. They get the down over, so it's going to be 1st and 12 at the 47. But really, Scott, that's a 17-yard penalty.
Yeah, and Marshall didn't have to do that hold because it was way downfield. Jesse already had turned the corner.
Yeah, it was way behind the play. Men, the single setback, 3 receivers wide right. Amari Jesse stands tall, floats it near side, an adjustment and a low thrown football and a catch made. Michael Marshall, a diving first down catch at the 26-yard line. That ball was underthrown, but a good adjustment by Marshall.
Unbelievable adjustment. That was so underthrown. It looked like a back shoulder throw, and Marshall had to put on the skids, was sliding on the turf, gains his footing, just gets his right hand underneath the pigskin.
6th play of the drive coming up after a 21-yard first down reception by Michael Marshall. Marshall is flank split short left with 3 receivers wide right. Jesse again slings it a little. Marshall is wide open. He juggles it and is drug into the end zone. Did he get there for the touchdown? Yes, he did.
Nice pass by Jesse. Nice break to the post by Marshall.
OBU into the offseason will take a string of 38 consecutive games with a touchdown pass. A remarkable string into 2023. A good concentration by Marshall Brooksy
yes.
as he was juggling that for about 3 yards.
He was juggling, and when you listened to your replay on the call, you were juggling with him because you weren't sure he was going to hold on, but he did. You got him in the end zone.
GG on for the extra point to cut it to 35-14. Out of the hold of Braden Phipps. Snap from Peyton Russell. High snap, ball down, kick of the air, and there's not much of a push from Southern Nazarene on extra point tries. It's good. 7:29 to play, third quarter, 35-14. Southern Nazarene back after these messages from McIntyre Law on the OBU Football Radio Network.
If he kicked a field goal, does it tie?
Play here in the third quarter. Todd Miller, Scott Winnish, John Brooks, and John Zonlow, the best of the business, producing our broadcast. Brooksy, you and Z-Man go back a long ways, but we're really, really lucky to have a guy of his caliber on the other end of this broadcast.
Yeah, we go back a long, let me add a couple more longs. A long way. Let's go over 40 years together, the Z-Man and I. And the few times I ever sounded good, you know who was responsible? The Z-Man. And Todd, some people have said the same thing about you. The only time you really sound good is when you got the Z-Man behind you.
I won't argue with that statement at all, but I can tell you, sitting in this chair, it's really comforting to know you have a guy like that on the other side where you don't have to worry about what's going on.
He truly is a great producer.
We said over 40 years. That means Todd and I were only 12 when you guys started.
Well, really, did you go to the Dick Tracy School of Investigation, or did that just come up on your own? Huh?
Over 40 years.
Hey, Brooksy, asked Scott what he said about the Battle of the Ravine today in Arkadelphia in terms of how long it's been played.
The what?
It was the 95th year they played the game.
Oh, okay.
Here's a short kickoff to the near side, return for the 14. That is Donald May running wide left to the 20, 25, May to the 30, and he'll finally be corralled near the 31-yard line.
Well, you know what? Scotty thought he was being funny, but I'm being very, very truthful. When that series started between Washita and Henderson, I remember my folks talking about it. I was like 4 or 5 then, I think.
No.
Yeah.
We figured out you were 11.
Oh, so I'm 106 now. Okay, I got it. We're talking about a 95-year-old series.
Well, that's pretty good. 106-year-old Brooksy with us tonight.
You play racquetball 6 times a week, you can still talk and play at 106, okay?
Jaron Alvarado, one of 2 receivers left, 2 to the near side. When I'm your age, if I live to be that old, John, I won't be doing what you're doing right now. I'll be lucky to know my name. Jet sweep, handed off left, and a little bit of running room for Betts as he manages to get out to the 34, short gain of 3.
Caleb Peters, one of the guys on the tackle along with Chase Whitebear.
Halfway through the third quarter.
This quarter's not going as fast as the first and second quarter.
35-14.
Something wrong with the clock.
Our producer agrees with you. He was shaking his head, saying, no, it's not going as fast. Leighton has things to do on a Saturday night when he gets home. Second down and 7 at the 34-yard line. Single setback, 3 receivers to the far side. They'll sweep it left side with Donald May. Blockers ahead, first down, 50 out of an ankle tackle, 45-40 to the 35, and they finally push him out of bounds inside the 30-yard line.
He's got a
Make that at the 35.
I'm sorry, Todd. He had a 25-yard tightrope run right there. Right on the sideline, 25 yards of that carry, right down the boundary, just able to stay in bounds.
6:28 to play, third quarter. Another first down for Southern Nazarene. And they are 5 of 5 on third downs. They've only gone to third down 1 time in 2 drives here in the second half. Single setback, Ramirez. Porter pulls it and keeps it. Now he is hit and knocked down after a 4-yard gain to the 31. Second down and 6 coming up.
I don't know how, Scotty, by now, no matter what, there's not a spy on him heading for him every time, no matter what. I just don't know.
Well, Jake Landers actually made a good tackle on that play.
He did. I'm just saying, you've just got to do it, don't you?
It's just once you get that rhythm going, it's tough to stop because you got that jet sweep, the fake handoff.
Yep.
Tight end motions from left to right. He'll line up to the near side. They motion another man. They give it straight ahead. And this time it's Angel Ramirez who's down to the 28-yard line. Donovan Hill way downfield. A late block on White Bear. No flag. It's going to be third down now for the Crimson Storm.
Yeah, hey, listen, don't get me wrong, guys. It's easy to sit up here and ask questions, okay?
Well, there's so many responsibilities on the field, and when you're running men different directions, sometimes it takes a defender out of the play, so it just makes it tough to stop.
Third down and 3. Crimson Storm likely in 4-down territory if they don't convert here. They're perfect tonight on third down. 3 receivers to the near side. Porter under pressure, steps up, now is flush for the pocket. This is when he's dangerous. He'll scramble for it, first down and more inside the 15-yard line. And all the way down to the 10. A scramble for 18. He's a guy you'd love to be able to keep in the pocket. He's just so dangerous with his legs.
Kendall Williams came free, unscathed off the left end. Had his hand on the shoulder pad of Gabe Porter, couldn't bring him down. Porter did a good job to duck under that tackle and then get the first down.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about ifs, ands, buts a while ago. Why don't we just admit there's a lot of talent out there, too?
Donovan Hill, wide left, receiver to the near side. Jaron Alvarado is in the backfield, one of 3 backs. Angel Ramirez is the tailback. High snap, Porter's going to keep it, runs left, now circles back to the 15, hit again, and still gets to the 10-yard line.
And Trajan Lands did a great job that time containing Gage Porter, and then Elijah Tomlin had the tackle, and for some reason Tomlin missed him.
3 different times they had him 5 to 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and they couldn't get him down. There's an injured Bison at the 10-yard line. Appears to be in some pain. He was setting up, now lays on his back. It's going to be second down, upcoming for Southern Nazarene out of the timeout. We'll take a local break, 3:46 to play in the third. This is OBU football on the Bison Radio Network. Right leg or ankle injury.
Kendall Williams.
It's Kendall Williams, who's had a pretty good game tonight, Scott, for the Bison.
Yeah, Williams playing that outside linebacker spot, coming off the edge, responsible for contain on Gage Porter. Got on the bottom of the pile and looks like he rolled an ankle.
2nd and 10 for Southern Nazarene. The ball is at the 10-yard line. Split backs. Porter will move left. Now he's going to keep it. Runs right behind the left guard. He's inside the 5. Still will not go down. Getting some help from the big guys. They finally push him down to the 3. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short.
You know, there's a guy who's going to play tomorrow that's had an elbow injury all week, and I think he is going to play. But on that run right there, don't you think of Josh Allen?
Yep.
Exactly.
Like him.
Big quarterback. Just first thing I thought of, when he pushed the pile himself, not somebody else. He pushed the pile himself for an extra 3 yards on that carry.
3rd down and goal to go at the 3 for the Crimson Storm.
We sound like the SNU network right now talking about this guy.
35-14.
Has some power.
Gage Porter with split backs to each side. Looked like he was going to run. Now he throws, and it's caught for the touchdown, Jared Alvarado.
That's an easy one there, and it's a nice call by the SNU offensive staff or the offensive coordinator, because everybody's expecting him to take that ball and then just do that little quarterback draw and come right up the middle. And all alone was the tight end for an easy catch.
Alvarado with his second touchdown reception of the season, and it's now 41-14. Here is the snap from Alvarado. The extra point is on the way, and it is good. So an 8-play drive goes 69 yards. Southern Nazarene still has not been stopped. Timeout, 2:47 to play. It's 42-14, so we'll keep it right here. Late third quarter from Shawnee.
Those plays work on every level, even in the NFL. So Jaron Alvarado, the tight end on the right side, he's blocking for about a second or two on the right side. Porter acting like he's going to run up. It's a run-pass option. He runs up to the line of scrimmage. Then the tight end releases into the flat. Nobody accounts for him, wide open.
By the way, Scott, remember our trip to Wausau a few weeks ago to see Rejoice Christian? Did you hear they got beat last night?
Really?
Yep.
Who knocked them off?
Beggs. It was Beggs. Yep.
Beggs gave up 70 points in their regular season meeting 2 weeks ago, and they beat them by 3 touchdowns.
When I walked into the door last night and saw that score, my jaw dropped. one of the most impressive teams you and I have seen in high school this year. Here's Ryan Reed's kickoff. It'll be returned from the 8-yard line. It's Jaden Henry, or excuse me, that is Evan Young, and Young advances out to the 26, first down and 10 for OBU.
Well, OBU, nothing to lose now. You just let it fly. Last game of the season, just over a quarter to play.
Chris Ben will be the running back. Now they're waving men off to the sideline, so they had 12 guys on the field. Amari Jesse with an empty backfield. 4 receivers right, 1 left. Now on a jet sweep, they toss it to Julian Clark, and Clark is in trouble still. Excuse me, that's Matthew Norman. He manages to get 8, though, somehow, almost 9 to the 36.
Well, there's debate down on the Bison sideline of who's the fastest, and I think most of them say that Matthew Norman actually can outrun Keelan Harris, which is hard to believe. So that's why Norman's getting a lot of offensive plays now.
Yeah, they surprised us about 3 weeks ago by moving him to wide receiver from defensive back. Second down at a yard. The give to men straight ahead. First down, Chris, 45, stumbles out to the 49-yard line. A good run between the tackles that time by Chris Ben, the redshirt junior from Houston, Texas.
That 42-point total is 9 better than SNU's biggest total against OBU in history. First meeting, 2015, they won 33-32. Had never scored that many since until tonight.
Marshall takes a swing pass and turns it into a gain of the 46. That's 5, so it's going to bring up second down. OBU back into Southern Nazarene territory, down 42-14. Men this time is in the backfield, and Marshall lost his balance and fell across the line of scrimmage.
Can't blame the wind tonight.
No. Marshall's frustrated. He's looking upwards towards the sky. Second penalty for OBU. That negates a 5-yard carry, and the ball goes back to the 49, so it's second down and 10. Harris and Marshall, 2 of the receivers to the near side. Back to throw is Jesse from the 41. Looking downfield, now he's going to run. 45, running right, first down 40, angles right, out of bounds into the SNU sideline. So a good scramble by Amari Jesse to the 31-yard line. That'll give him 20 yards at a first down.
What a block by Michael Marshall at the 40 to give Amari Jesse 9 extra yards.
Late third quarter, 42-14, Southern Nazarene. They're going to finish 5-3 of their last 8 and 5-6 overall. They are a couple of wins away from having a shot to maybe think about going to the postseason. It's been that good of a year in Bethany. First and 10 to the 31-yard line. Sam Sharp is out there at quarterback, and he takes a snap, throws left and short for Braden Phipps.
Well, you know, they went for the 2-point conversion against Henderson. You know, if they had kicked it and gone ahead, they might have won in overtime anyway. But if they get that 2-point conversion, they would be, after tonight, 6-5, and that would have put them in 5th place in the top of the conference.
Sam Sharp, who early in his career, not in college, played quarterback, is out there wearing number 2. They give it to, no, it's Sharp on a keeper. 25 and a good ankle tackle that time. Trenton Smith, if he does not get him by the ankles, that's a first down. Instead, the gain is 7 to the 24.
Yeah, Ben Cleveland is working on Amari Jesse's right wrist down on the sidelines, stretching it. Jesse appears to be in somewhat pain.
Well, you know what? Why not play 5 quarterbacks this year? Why not?
Well, there's no why not about it. They've now played 5 quarterbacks.
Yep, third down and 3 at the 24 of Southern Nazarene. Braden Phipps motions from right to left. And they fake the handoff again. Sam Sharp is going to keep it. He has a first down. And look at him dive all the way to the 17-yard line of SNU. So it's a red zone scoring opportunity for the Bison.
You know, Todd, Sam might have thought that maybe he was supposed to hand it off. But he said, wait a minute, I've never handed the ball off as a quarterback. I think I'll just keep it and run.
I saw Sam earlier this week in Taggart Brown's offices. That's the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
I walked in and said, good luck, man. He's just grinning from ear to ear. 15 minutes to go in the season. Through 3, 42-14, Southern Nazarene. The third quarter brought to you by McIntyre Law on the Bison Radio Network.
Spending life wisely means taking small steps towards a life of love and impact. And we're here to inspire and empower you along the way. Spend life wisely. First United Bank.
The yardage advantage in total offense for Southern Nazarene. They led at 42-14 as we start the fourth quarter. Brooks will give you the numbers in a moment. We also owe you a station ID. First and 10, Sam Sharp out there at quarterback for the 17, throws it near side, and the ball is caught. And that is Josiah Drain, a backup tight end from Tacoma, Washington, and he is down to the 11-yard line. So Sam Sharp's first pass is a completion for 6.
Southern Nazarene's Gage Porter, 157 yards rushing. He's 6 of 10 passing for 105. He's provided 257 of the 421 yards.
Sharp is in the backfield, offset to his left. Chris Benn, 2 receivers that way. And the tight end, Josiah Drain, is to the press box side. They throw this way again, and Drain trying to make a diving catch. Did he come up with it? Yes, he did. Inside the 10, and that should set up a first down and goal to go. But pump the brakes. There is a flag down right at the end of that catch.
Amari's coming back in.
So Sam Sharp will stay out there. He will be the tight end.
Well, I guess Amari came out there, but he went.
No,
he's
out
back
there.
in. Yeah, no, he's in the back end at tight end. Okay, I got you.
Foul against Southern Nazarene. It's a spot foul, so OBU will have it first and goal to go at the 7-yard line. Let's finish this drive, guys. 42-14. Oklahoma Baptist trying to get their third score of the contest on the board. Now some substitutions as Nick Blanchard will check out of the lineup and Paul Fungsgaard will check in. That's a substitution among the 4-man defensive front. 3 receivers to the far side. Amari Jesse hands it off. Men with nowhere to go. They just blew up the right side of the line of scrimmage, and Chris loses 3 back to the 10.
That's too bad because Devin Mack and Jake Sitzler had great blocks on the right side, just too much penetration near the center area. Landsteiner's been making some great blocks as well, freeing Amari Jesse on some runs earlier in the game.
13:46 in counting to play in the season. OBU down 42-14 here at home. Second down and goal to go from the 10. Min is in the backfield. Back to throw. Jesse throws it up back left corner for Braden Phipps, and he dives. Did he stay in bounds? No indication yet. No, he was out of bounds.
Yeah, he was over the back line. In fact, he rolled clear out on the track. You know, I was looking at you, Todd. You're rolling your eyes up there. I'm just thinking, it'd be nice to get a record here. It's third down. If they don't get the ball in, wouldn't it be nice if Rodriguez had a chance to set the record?
It would tie Austin
Wonder if
Manger.
the guys next door know it.
I don't know. Austin Manger, yeah, it's been in the game notes. I think they do know that. Austin Manger holds the single-season field goal record of 9, GG with 8. That was in 2013. The next field goal also would give him the career lead outright. He's currently tied with Luke Wendell. Jesse to throw on third and goal to go. Amari running out of time, needs a block, moving left, throws to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Looking for Josiah Drain again, and
Kick
that will bring up
goal.
fourth down and goal to go, and here may be your wish.
Kick the field goal. That's not a field goal team coming out there.
Phipps is the holder.
Yeah, Phipps is coming out.
Phipps the holder.
Let's see if they're going to kick this field goal.
The offense is still out there, guys.
No, they're not kicking it.
Maybe they'll drop kick it.
You can tell it's 42-14 last game of the season here late.
Fourth and goal to go at the 10-yard line. 3 receivers left. One to the near side is Phipps. Look for him perhaps on this play. They're looking that way with Jesse. Amari dancing, in trouble, eludes the pressure, rolling right, slips, and down he goes.
Fourth down, he's just got to get that ball up in the end zone, interception or not, you lose possession.
Emmanuel Obina, redshirt freshman from Georgetown, Texas, touched him down.
And a drop kick is a legal kick for a field goal. It's improbable, but it's legal.
We're aware of that. Thank you.
I've never seen one in person. I don't come to think of it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
I kicked one
on TV. Well, I would have guessed you did.
I kicked
for
one
the John Marshall Bears.
Yeah, I kicked one. I drop kicked a field goal. I did.
With your buckskin helmet.
Left-footed. Yeah. It was back when drop kick field goals were worth 4 points.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my. 1st and 10 of the 17 for SNU. Gage Porter to throw, but little receiver wide open, and it's off to the races. On the catch is Betts, and he's going to go the distance for the touchdown.
Boy, White Bear closed the ground on him because that was an easy touchdown over the middle. No, there's going to be a celebration penalty as the Crimson Storm just stormed the field. They've got 20-some players on the field.
Well, you know what? Wouldn't you have 20-some players if you were up by this deal and you just had a guy who looks like he can't run 5 yards without falling over and goes, 65 on the play?
Another flag came out, so they're going to get 30 yards and penalties here.
Oh, my goodness, what a positive.
You know what? I don't blame them. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
They won the first 2 games of this series, and then it's been all OBU since. That was actually not Betts.
No.
It was Batta, B-A-T-T-A on the reception.
Yeah, tight end.
83 yards is the longest play from scrimmage this season for the Crimson Storm.
Another one of those plays where the tight end acts like he's blocking.
The first unsportsmanlike foul on every Southern Nazarene University player. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
He emphasized every because if there's another unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on anybody, they're out of the game.
Does that mean everybody goes out?
It means everybody had to be on the field to make that happen. But.
Oh, 83 yards. So the catch and run. Here's the extra point. It's on the way, and it is good. 13-18 to play, 49-14 the score. Back after these messages, this is OBU Football on the Bison Radio Network.
Who got the touchdown? It was 11. Who got the touchdown? 11.
Singing of your praises. Almost.
Well,
The ball game. It is all Southern Nazarene here on the closing game of the season, 49-14. This is game number 66 of a 66-game schedule for the Great American Conference. Usually this game is a 2 o'clock kick, and by now the offseason has arrived. They are playing tonight on a cold night here in Shawnee.
Senior night, too. We didn't talk about that as much as we normally do. But it's interesting because there are a lot of players that say goodbye tonight who aren't really seniors, and then there were some redshirt juniors in there that aren't coming back, right?
That's right.
Yep.
So after the 30 yards and penalties are marked off, actually the 15-yard penalty, it was against the entire team, Ryan Reed will kick off at the 20-yard line. So the Bison should get really good starting field position for what it's worth, down 49-14. Ryan Reed approaches, left-footed boot, and an end-over-end kick. And again, Evan Young will return from the 25-yard line to the 30 up to the 35. That's actually Chris Min, and he is tackled near the 42-yard line.
Chris Min getting an opportunity tonight, showing good foot speed, hitting the holes early, getting the football and just going straight north and south.
13 minutes left in the season. Amari Jesse, who was shaken up, missed most of a series in the third quarter, is back out there. Finished up that last drive that the Bison turned it over on downs at the 10. Second time they have misfired to the red zone tonight from the 43-yard line. Amari fakes the handoff to Nate Anderson. He's going to throw over the middle. He's got Harris at the 45. Key with a high tackle is thrown down at the 39-yard line. Jalen Mays, a native of Las Cruces, New Mexico, got him up pretty close to the shoulder pads of the headgear. It's a gain down to the 39-yard line, so it's first down and 10 for OBU. Clock winds as they set the chains across the way, now less than 13 minutes to play. Marshall and Harris are wide to the far side. Two receivers to the near side. Nate Anderson out of Rejoice Christian is the single sent back. Jesse walks up behind the center. Jake Landsteiner says something. Now he throws it out right, and it was offline. Phipps unable to make a diving catch. It's just as well because it would have gone for a loss. And now Holden Hill is face mask to face mask with Braden Phipps.
Amari had to hurry that throw. That rush came from the edge, and now as we start to tell that, it continues, and the flag comes in the air, and that flag just came from the umpire, Brandon Moreland. Let's see what the call is.
It's right next to Braden Phipps.
Incidentally, with that last catch, Keelan Harris has got over 1,000 yards receiving for a second straight year.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 4, offense. 15-yard penalty from the 16.
Guys, that is nothing more than an example of it's the second man that retaliates, because Holden Hill was the guy that clearly instigated that.
Yeah, but still, the flag, the chipping was still going on. There was no flag, and then there was more chipping. I think it was more from the mouth on that one, because that was a pretty late flag.
Second and 25, back at the 47. They'll throw it out left for Harris. Circles back, and boy, flips down to the 49-yard line. That was a punishing 3-yard reception with 12:19 to play in the ball game. So it's third down and 22. Need to take a shot a little bit deeper than that when you're facing second and 25. 49-14 Southern Nazarene. They led 28-7 at halftime. Single receiver left, 3 receivers to the near side. Chris Min, the single setback. Now Min will motion to the near side. Jesse's going to take a shot down the field for Harris. It's intercepted. 35-40, 45 to midfield. And a terrific defensive play. He just stepped in front of Harris that time. It was Elijah Calhoun with the interception of the third, garnered tonight by Southern Nazarene.
Now that throw was into triple coverage. Calhoun was the deep man. There was 2 men bracketing Keelan Harris up the middle of the field. Amari Jesse just staring a little bit too long. Calhoun just watched, knows where that pass is going, ran right up in front of Harris for the pick.
Yeah, you got to have a rocket if you're going to, you got to have a rocket if you're going to throw that pass, and that was not a rocket.
Gage Porter will come out of the field. Looks like the starters are still out there for Dustin Hayda's club, with 11:50 to play and first down and 10 at midfield. Scott, something tells me we're going to hear about this game when basketball goes to the Sawyer Center. Motion man from left to right. They'll throw it in the backfield. The ball's through the hands, and that's an incompleted pass. It looked like a lateral to me. They blow it dead as Trajan Lands was trying to scoop it and score.
I'll tell you what, if I'd have been out there, I'd have picked it up and run it in, and then we'd let everybody talk it over.
No, you would have pulled up at the 10 and then drop-kicked it for 4.
Shut up. If this was a Division I game and that happened, there'd be a replay to see if indeed it was a lateral, because if it was a lateral, it would have been picked up and run in for the score.
Certainly looked like from up here it was.
Yeah.
Second down and 10 at midfield. 11:44 to play in the ballgame. First time I've ever been told to shut up on the air. Gage Porter on a jet sweep, hands it off, some running room, and a first down carry.
Tyler Hicks.
By Tyler Hicks, a junior wide receiver from Victory Christian. They had a big win last night over Pawhuska in the 2A playoffs. It's a first down gain to the 39-yard line.
Remember, good friends can talk to each other and be very honest with them, including saying shut up one time.
I agree with you. Okay. And you know what? It was well deserved. Right. I'm surprised it happened before. It hadn't happened before now. First and 10 to the 39-yard line, 11-11 to play. Gage Porter, Ramirez in the backfield, two receivers left and right. Handoff, and some running room up the middle. That is Carlos Thomas, and he has a first down to the 26-yard line. And the SNU sideline is loving this right now.
Well, Thomas, 5'9", 240 pounds. He just ran over one of the safeties for the Bison, and that's what got the Crimson Storm up on the sideline.
Carlos Thomas, one of 14 different ball carriers this year for Southern Nazarene.
Well, I was just going to say, you're looking at a 3-deep or a 4-deep guy there, and when he does that, you bet all his teammates are going to go crazy, especially when you're 5'9" and 240.
First and 10, just outside the red zone to the 26-yard line. 10.5 minutes to play. Porter will throw it out right. Ball is caught. And some running room down the sideline. And a good gain on first down that's going to set him up inside the red zone. And there looks like to be some extracurricular activities on the far side.
That would be people being knocked down. Well, it looked like this one might get through without having shades of Southwestern State and a couple of other teams this year, but that's not going to be the case. And Joey Newsom has tossed the flag along with a couple others from his officiating crew on the far sideline. So let's see what it is.
Looks like they're pointing to the gold jerseys. Just a simple screen pass on the right side. Caleb Peters has containment, but overran it, allowed the play to get up for the first down.
Joey Newsom is visiting with two of the officials on the far sideline. Southern Nazarene trying to put up 50-plus points. The series record 2 years ago in Bethany, OBU won it 52-27. Bison the last 2 years have scored 94 combined.
Contact to an official. Number 3 is disqualified.
Yusuf McHale.
So first down and goal to go for Southern Nazarene at the 6-yard line. Damian Mallett will come in, a freshman from Sacramento, California. Gage Porter with Thomas in the backfield. Tied in, motions from left to right of the formation. That's Alvarado. He has a touchdown catch tonight. They snap it with 5. Porter rolls right, now throws it across. They have the screen set up, and inside the 5-yard line and down to the 2-yard line as they dump it off to Keaton Crooks, a freshman wide receiver from Cushing, and it's going to be second and goal to go.
No, that surely looks like a
Grayson Winters
offensive lineman. That's exactly right. Yep, it is Grayson Winters, a senior from Prosper, Texas. He was guard eligible that time, and we were told that play was in the playbook. So it's second down and goal to go from the 2. Grayson Winters with the catch. Motion man to the far side, fake pitch, back to throw Porter, under pressure, eludes one defender, is hit, fumbled the football, it's scooped up by Southern Nazarene at the 26-yard line, and that is Angel Ramirez, who finally is out of bounds at the 17, so it's a loss of 15 on the play with 9:19 to go.
Great pressure by Brett Carr, who coming up the middle, forcing Gage Porter to turn around and get out of the pocket, almost sacked. Then coming up from behind was the linebacker, Jake Landers, who punched the football out.
It was almost a scoop and score opportunity for OBU's defense. 9 minutes and counting to play. Third down and 17. Southern Nazarene is perfect tonight on third down conversions. Correction, they're 6 of 7. OBU is 4 of 9. Third down and goal to go, and Gage Porter and SMU wants a timeout. 8:49 to play. We'll take a break as well for McIntyre Law, the Bison Radio Network.
OBU fans, do you want the chance to support OBU student athletes from the convenience of your own mobile device? Text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014 to support BAA student athletes. Donations are fully tax deductible, and every gift makes a difference in the OBU student athlete's life. Again, text hashtag BAA at OBU to the number 52014. For more information, log on to obubison.com.
Hello, the crew with you. Layton is our producer here in the booth tonight. Didn't bring us any luck, unfortunately. 49-14. We may have to fire him here in about 10 minutes.
May? I thought he was.
Porter on the keeper. Inside the 10, still struggling. He's inside the 5-yard line. Down to the 3. And it's going to bring up 4th down and goal to go from there. They allowed 14 yards on 3rd and goal to go.
Well, that's Gage Porter, very talented, spinning around, power running right up the right hash.
8:17 to play, 4th down and goal to go for Southern Nazarene at the 3. Carlos Thomas in the backfield. They motion Robertson to the far side. It's a zone read for Porter, and I don't think he got there. He stopped just outside the goal line. And OBU's defense has held on 4th down and goal to go. But now they will start with the ball inside the 1-yard line.
Elijah Tomlin, one of those tacklers that met Gabe Porter there right about the 1-yard line.
So the loss on 2nd down turns out to be the difference and perhaps a touchdown for Southern Nazarene on that drive. 8:07 to play in the ball game, 49-14. And now both teams are being sent to the respective sidelines, and we have a timeout. We'll take this local break. This is Bison Football on the OBU Radio Network.
Estate planning is a crucial step in protecting your family's future. With an estate plan, you can decide how to distribute your assets, make healthcare decisions, and support ministries after you pass away. It involves some pretty big decisions, but with guidance from Water's Edge, you can plan for your children's future, give to kingdom causes, and get expert help along the way. Build a solid foundation for your family. Start your estate plan today. Visit watersedgeservices.org.
The ball is inside the 1-yard line of the north end here of Crane Family Stadium in the Hurt Athletic Complex. 8:07 to play. Looks like Buddy Bazell may be out there at the running back position. He's 8 yards deep in the end zone. It's actually Chris Min, and they're going to hand it to Min. Min out left, and he gets 2. Close to the 2-yard line, so it'll bring up 2nd down from there.
Zach Frazier's piling up the pancake blocks. That time he got Cole Zizek.
You know, you mentioned Buddy. I think he's only been in for 2 steps since he had that injury in the first quarter.
Yeah, he did return briefly, but we haven't seen him again. 2nd down and 9 at the 2-yard line. They bring an extra blocker in the backfield. They give it to Chris. Man, there was a hole, and then he is hit hard. Trenton Smith stepped up from safety and just put him on his back.
And it's a good thing from Snoo's standpoint that he did, because if he doesn't step in that gap, Scotty, he had a chance right there to set a school record, because he was 98 yards downfield, and there wasn't anybody who was going to stop him, I don't think.
And Smith didn't give up any ground. Shoulder pad to shoulder pad right there.
Yeah.
3rd down and 7 to the 4-yard line for OBU, out of the pistol for their own end zone. Jesse to throw, takes a deep shot for Harris. It's underthrown and intercepted. Josh Johnson with the pick, and now he waltzes away from Harris, who forced him out of bounds near the 29. 4th interception for Southern Nazarene secondary today.
And another flag down.
Well, I tell you, that wasn't a bad throw, and Key had a I thought you rolled your eyes, but I thought he had a legitimate chance at it. What are you going to do? I mean, why not go for that?
Well, Keelan Harris was at least 4 yards behind Johnson, and the ball was so underthrown. That was a bad interception, I thought. Yeah.
Well, let's read the flag.
I think there's some John afterwards.
Here's Joe Newsom. Needless to say, these two teams don't really care for each other at this moment.
Yeah. You would seem to think.
Foul. Unnecessary roughness, number 52, Southern Nazarene, 15-yard part, penalty, 1st down.
And Rutherford.
Now, hold everything. I didn't hear that number 52 was ejected, because everybody had a personal foul.
Right.
He should be ejected. It's simple. Everybody had a personal foul. Next one against anybody, he should have been ejected. Am I correct or not?
You're right.
I didn't hear it. Not that it makes any difference in the world.
But the official did say that, and that's where he made a mistake, because not every Crimson Storm member stormed on the field.
Well,
so
you're right.
You should have never made that comment in the first place.
From the 37-yard line, Porter hands it off in the backfield. Not much running room. OBU will drop the ball carrier for a loss to the 38. And that was Amon Byers, a sophomore running back from Texas.
You get a lot of people out there now, Jim, giving their names. Let me just say something, guys, because I'm going to be heading down here in just a moment. Been wonderful working with you again. We'll look forward to doing it next year.
Ditto, my friend. 2nd down and 11 at the 38-yard line. What will next year be? County basketball, will that be 7 years of the network?
This was 7. It'll be 8.
County basketball next year will be the 8th. 2nd down and 11. Porter keeps it, running left, and he's still on his feet. That's actually Carlos Thomas on the run.
I think Porter's done for the night.
No, that was Porter.
No, it was Porter. Okay. Porter's not done for the night.
I think Porter's going to stay out there till the last second. This is it for him, a graduate already, being here 5 years at least.
1st down and 10 after a carry of 15 for Gage Porter. Gage tonight, 26 carries, 158 yards. Works out of a pistol formation with 3 receivers to the far side. They wind the play clock down. Now they hand it off. Inside handoff goes to Byers, and he's had nothing working for him. He loses 2 back to the 25.
Nice tackle by Michael James, redshirt junior out of Tulsa Union.
They give him a loss of 1 to the 24, so it is 2nd down and 11 at the 5-minute mark of the 4th quarter. 43-14, Oklahoma Baptist only 2 touchdowns against the second worst defense in the league. SNU is allowing over 40 points per contest. 2 receivers left and right. Byers offset to the right hip of Gage Porter. OBU with a 3-man defensive front. Porter will throw. The pass is thrown behind the receiver. It's tipped, juggled, it's caught, and in for the touchdown.
Edgin Bata.
Holy cow. That ball was juggled. The receiver was hit, or did he pitch it? It bounced off of him. That's what I thought. And Bada was Johnny on the spot and ran in for the touchdown.
And he just drug a couple bison across the goal line about 3 yards.
That's exactly what I thought happened, is that the original target lost the ball and it carried him right to Bada. So he has 2 touchdowns here in the ball game. That play sums up a lot about this season. Adam Atwell on for the extra point, and it is good. 4:33 to play. It's now 56-14. Southern Nazarene, their student section across the way, is loving a cold night here in Shawnee. We'll take our final local break. This is OBU football on the Bison Radio Network. So, sends it airborne, and it's returned for the 15-yard line. Chris Min to the 20-25, middle of the field up to the 35, and then spun down with 4:26 to play in the ball game. It's 56-14. Scott, were you surprised by Clemson Storm's decision to throw the football?
Certainly, and you have Gage Porter out there. I understand him. This is the end for him. The last game that he's going to play in, that he's going to play to the final horn. But you're right. Why would you throw the ball up at such a substantial margin and then cheering and getting all upset? You're closing out the season at 5-6, I guess, because the Bison beat them 4 years in a row. I don't know.
Amari Jesse in the backfield gives it to Nate Anderson. Anderson is tackled at the 41, a gain of 2. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 8. Well, we've seen what SNU football is without Gage Porter, and that era begins again in 4 minutes. So be careful about what you do in late game situations.
Good point.
2nd and 8 of the 41-yard line. Tight end right, Josiah Drain, 2 receivers to the near side. Jesse to throw, throws it out left. Drain with the catch, bounce off a defender, has the first down as he runs backwards and is out of bounds near midfield. Boy, once Trenton Smith hits you, most of the time you don't get away from him, but that time Drain did.
Yeah, Josiah Drain took the lick, kind of staggered him a little bit back a half yard, and then he just on forward for 5 more.
1st and 10 of the 49-yard line in SNU territory. OBU's problem tonight has not been moving the football. They have a total of 322 yards of offense. It has been finishing on extended drives. We've seen that happen twice here in the second half. From the 49-yard line, Drain is tight end left. Jesse hands it off. Chris Min, boy, he hits the hole quick. And Min shoots down to the 42-yard line for a gain of 7. Chris Min, not real big, listed at 5'6" on the roster.
I do love the way he gets that ball and quickly hits the hole, because when the running back is 7-8 yards deep like that in the shotgun right behind the quarterback that OBU has, sometimes if you just delay that handoff, you allow those tackles to get in the gaps and get upfield pressure.
Tight end Drain left, 2 receivers that way, a single receiver to the near side. They keep it on the ground with Min, bounces off defenders, runs right, stiff arms another one, and then slides down. I don't think he meant to. His feet went out from underneath him at the 38-yard line. That'll be enough to refresh the down marker, 1st down and 10.
And wide receiver Jacob Moore on the right side was the last guy to get a little block to free Min to move the sticks.
1st and 10 comes at the 38-yard line with 2:17 to play in the ball game. It's been all Southern Nazarene from the outset. They jumped out to a 14-0 lead, led 28-7 at halftime. They have been as good as advertised on this Saturday night. From the 38, Jesse to throw. Straight drop, throws near side of the ball out of the reach and incomplete. He was looking for Jacob Moore, junior wide receiver from UConn.
That's the second time Amari Jesse's thrown the ball out of bounds. One time he's looking for Marshall going down the left boundary where there's no chance. I guess he just was looking at the flag pattern instead of down the boundary.
Jesse, 48% completion percentage tonight, 11 of 23, 193 and a touchdown. So a penalty, a 5-yard penalty called against Oklahoma Baptist. The tight end was covered up.
Which is the right call, but 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. We'll just play the ball.
2 receivers left. The tight end that way as well as Drain. They'll hand it off to Chris Min. Out of contact. He's to the 35. Chris down the numbers 20. He is inside the 20 and tackled from behind at the 17-yard line. Boy, Chris Min is just exploding through any opening that he can find. And here we go. Some pushing and shoving at the end of that run.
Nice run by Chris Min. I know there's some second teamers for the Crimson Storm, but Min is running with abandonment, just running full speed up to the line of scrimmage, bouncing off tacklers.
1st and 10 of the 17-yard line. OBU with frustration off of a disappointing season, boiling over Southern Nazarene with frustrations of a 4-game losing streak about to be snapped, and so emotions are high out there on the field. So Chris Min overcomes the penalty and gets OBU into the red zone. And just now ready the ball for play with 1:56 to go. Now Jackson Kennard, who has a touchdown this year rushing, is out there. He gets the block. Jesse will throw it to the end zone. Wide open. Drain caught for the touchdown.
Jesse with plenty of time, just standing in the pocket, waiting for that flag pattern deep to the right corner of the end zone in the back for Drain, wide open, and out comes another flag.
Yep, thrown for the linesman on the near side. Tell you what, Scott, this might be an interesting handshake line at the end of the ball game.
Yeah, for me, the way there's so much mouthing at the end of these football games in NCAA Division II, and I'd like to think that it's rare that the Bison are the initiators of it.
Sportsmanlike conduct, number 25, Oklahoma Baptist. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
Haven Lysel Stewart, freshman tight end. We've seen him a little bit down the stretch of this season, was the one that was flagged. And so the Bison will have that penalty marked off on the kickoff.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Oklahoma Baptist team bench. That penalty will also be enforced on the succeeding kickoff.
More mouthing.
Yep, there you had it from referee Joey Newsom.
That was called by the line judge. That was the second flag that came in. And, you know, it seems like the Bison getting the brunt of it, and they're frustrated. But there's so many holding penalties on the Crimson Storm early in the game where Gage Porter got some touchdowns. I can remember one on Elijah Tomlin, and they keep the flag in their pocket. And now there's less than 2 minutes to play, and you're throwing all these flags.
Evan Young on a bad snap gets it down. Garcia's extra point is on the way, and it is good. With 1:43 to play, 56-21 is our score. Brooksy is down on the field. John, can you tell us what was going on at the end of that play? Well, he's down there somewhere, but he's not listening to me. It's just like he's here in the booth. Scott?
Well, you know, I understand from an official's point of view as well. You don't like young men or kids and students mouthing off to you, and there's no reason to do that. And if you do that, you do deserve a flag. But my frustration that's coming out is there's so many other things earlier in the game that could be thrown, and you throw 2 flags there on the Bison, so you have 30 yards, and you have Southern Nazarene up by, 30-plus points, and they just get minimal flags.
All-time series will be 4-3 in favor of Oklahoma Baptist. You know what? There's supposed to be a little dislike. I mean, this is a rivalry game.
But like you mentioned earlier, toward the end of these games, you see it with East Central, you see it with Southwestern, Henderson State, just a lot of poor sportsmanship at the end of the contest. You talk about shaking hands, it's to the point where it's getting so bad that you don't even want to shake hands because somebody's going to throw a punch there.
After a 30-yard penalty is assessed, the Bison will kick off from the 10. That is 8 penalties now for 81 yards tonight for Oklahoma Baptist. Tell you what, Layton is a trooper. He is still sitting here in a 56-21 game. Even John left the booth. Here's Gigi's kickoff from right to left, and it will be returned from the 33-yard line. Middle of the field of the 40, 45, makes a little cut, and on the return, Donald May then runs into Christian Claterbaugh on special teams, and SNU will have it with 1:37 to play.
Nice tackle by Claterbaugh. It was a high tackle, but he had the strength to wrap up around the chest and pull the ball carrier backward.
This is a really good win, though, for Dustin Hayda, who finally got a shot at being a head coach at the Division II level. And he is going to beat a program that has had his program's number for some time.
Well, I hear a lot of this talk and a record for Southern Nazarene, but 5-6. I mean, you finish 5-6 and you're satisfied with that. I don't understand that.
I do when you win 1 or 2 games a year. No, and I'm not making fun of anybody, but that's the truth. And you know what? There was once a day that used to be 5-6 acceptable here too. 1st and 10 of the 48-yard line. I remember a 5-6 season coming to the heels of a 2-9 season. Now they're going to go into victory formation.
Well, I remember those seasons as well, but I don't remember a lot of passing on 3rd down and goal when you're up 30-plus points. A bunch of cheering and storming the football field. I think that's poor sportsmanship.
2nd down and 11 at the 47-yard line with 1:14 and counting to play. SNU will close the year winners 5 of their last 8 and easily could have been 6-2 had it not been for a foiled 2-point conversion attempt at home against Henderson State 2 weeks ago.
Now that would have been a marquee victory right there.
And again, they will take an E. And that will take us perhaps down to the final snap. Looks like they'll have to snap it one more time. The play clock already is rolling. The line of scrimmage is back at the 46. So it's 3rd down and 12. Well, a very important offseason begins now for OBU. Personnel questions, just the general way of doing business. And that starts tomorrow. Snap, and that will do it. Southern Nazarene wins it tonight, 56-21. We'll be back after these messages on the Bison Radio Network. chilly early November night on Bison Hill. Season has come to an end. Southern Nazarene wins it 56-21. Here's Chris Jensen with our own John Brooks.
Well, Coach, let's start. First of all, normally you have a message for the team, but you got preview just in front before your message. Tell us what happened.
Well, the officials came by and said head coaches only are going to shake hands, so I told Zach to get him up over here while I was coming over. And by the time I got back over here, and he was delivering a good post game, probably one of the better ones that we've had. And he talked about how the record won't be what they'll remember. It's the friendships, the memories, the bond that these guys have had. For me personally, the record's been rough, but it's been one of the most enjoyable seasons as far as going to practice every day, just because these guys showed up. No matter what we were going through, these guys showed up to work really hard to try to prepare to win, and they kept doing it week after week, even in the face of extreme disappointment and quite a bit of adversity. I'm still proud of the way they showed up at practice every day.
I think back to your pregame visit with Todd Miller on tonight's broadcast, and a lot of what you said right there, you pretty well said in that visit also, and tried to find the silver lining, if you can find one, in a 1-10 season, and you actually found some in that interview. When you look at this season and you talk about the players, and you now know that many of them are departed, but there are some good keys for this team, and I'll tell you what, I don't think you'll ever be involved again, Chris, with a team that played 5 different quarterbacks in a season. Kind of tells you a whole lot about it right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, I hope not. Although, I think Amari did a good job tonight. And, Sam came in and did a serviceable job at quarterback. And so, that's just kind of a indication of this football team is, the next man was going to come up and do his very best. And so I'm just proud of everybody and how they fought.
I want to kind of close our visits with this. This has been a rough year, and again, the officials came to you and said, guys, we're not going to have any handshaking tonight. I've pretty well, in 7 years on this network, believe that the handshaking stuff, I can understand people who, think it should happen. I also understand people who say, hey, let's not get back out there again when you've had this kind of competition. Whatever your position is, it doesn't really make any difference, because this team had a target on them at the beginning of the season. Every time you beat a team, even Arkansas teams, but certainly all the Oklahoma teams, every time you played, they wanted you so bad. It does speak for the program, I think, and I want your reaction on it, the fact that this kind of ill will, if you will, was against OBU because of what they've done.
I mean, we have accomplished a lot in a short period of time, I think, and that's just because of the players and how they work so hard. It was a special thing to have that streak, and I didn't realize it until after it was over with, how hard that is to do in this conference. And, I know Coach Milo liked to promote that a little bit, and our SIDs like to promote that a little bit. And I think Oklahoma schools got tired of that, and so they do take a lot of pleasure in beating us. And, it is what it is, and I guess we can take that as a compliment.
All right, one final question. When you get your coaching staff together, things calm down, you start to look to next year. Give me about 3 or 4 things that you think need to be done to kind of get back on track.
Oh, we definitely need to attack the offseason. It's one of those things that we just got to get stronger. We also have to, look at everything that we've done. Obviously, evaluate everything on offense, defense, and special teams to make sure we're doing everything that we need to do to help our players be successful. Those are just some of the things that we need to do.
Well, you made it through. The good thing is you told all those guys you appreciate what they are, you appreciate what they've been.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Bye. All right, guys, that'll do it. Back upstairs to you.
All right, Chris Jensen with kind words after the ball game for his team, which finishes 1-10 on the season. Second half scoring, Southern Nazarene had a Gage Porter 10-yard run, Michael Marshall a 26-yard touchdown pass, Alvarado a 3-yard pass from Porter, Bada a 83-yard and 34-yard reception, and Josiah Drain the final points of the ball game a 17-yard touchdown reception. Big night offensively for Southern Nazarene tonight, 581 yards of total offense, 386 for Oklahoma Baptist. Final score, 56-21. SNU closes 5-6, OBU 1-10. More coming up on our final McIntyre Law postgame show of the year in a moment. This is OBU Football, produced by Sportscast Productions on the OBU Radio Network.